Whatever's live, so
I know.
Okay, it's like you having her there. It's just gonna be her face while we're talking the whole time.
I know, but it
that
feels...
probably get us great views.
I was about to say, like, this just feels right when we're in a room. I know it doesn't look right.
No. It is no. In the room, it's correct. On stream, it will make no sense.
I understand, but it was just like while we were pre-setting up, while we were in the green room, I was like, that's probably how we should do it.
That's fine. He had you on the big screen, Aly. That's why.
She's watching the stream.
No, there's no stream.
There's
She can't see. Oh, now she can see it. Oh, you just turned it on right now in the middle of us talking?
Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah, I wasn't ready. Yeah, usually there's like a 3, 2, 1, and then there's face, and you say, "Hey, audience, how you doing today? Thanks for watching the show.
Nah,
Welcome
man.
to the
We do a
pre-show."
casual open, like the Joe Rogan podcast. Just jump right in.
Don't ever say Joe Rogan again. He gets worse and worse.
He has gotten worse since he moved to Texas.
Exactly. No, but he's always been bad. You just didn't want to see it.
No, he's legit got worse without his friends from California that would pull him in once in a while.
The fact that he needs to be pulled in like that means
we need to pull you in once in a while.
Just because when I can, mention that I don't want the head attached to Mitch McConnell. Like, I don't like his head being attached to his body.
Hey, look, I'm keeping it kosher today.
Yeah, Joe Biden doesn't make me upset. Which is our topic.
Does he make you
eventually.
upset, Aly?
Joe Biden?
Yeah.
I mean, no, but he doesn't wow me either.
Right. So. Well, there you go. Podcast over, everybody. No. What's this pre-show that you wanted to talk about?
Well, I have a couple things. For starters, let's start off with something that was just mentioned. So I haven't heard about Tampico since I was actually living with my mom. Like 8 years ago. Not because I'm like, oh, like it's just a childhood drink. But what you were saying was right, because when I saw that goblet, I was like, and once you pointed it out, I was like, oh, that milky consistency.
Right. So for the audio listeners,
it's not refreshing.
And for people watching the show just joining us, Aly, we're like, he's got a what is this daiquiri? TJ's got a daiquiri. Marco's got power water, and then I got nothing. And then Aly, I thought she was drinking either OJ or mimosa, some sort of cocktail, maybe a tequila sunrise or something. She goes, no, it's just Tampico. And then
no, it's Tampico with tequila in it.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, that's aggressive.
Aggressive? No.
That's chaos.
I was about to say you had some orange juice. That's just a like sunrise.
But Tampico's not orange juice.
It's not anything.
Yeah, it's void of any reality.
So the thing is, right? I grew up like strictly Minute Maid in Tampico, so very like high quality, and then Tampico, which is high quality in its own different way.
Right.
Minute Maid from the can or Minute Maid?
No, we had the jugs.
We had the can. We had the frozen can.
No, we bought the cartons. All right, we on the right side of the tracks. I had cherry limeade too.
So no Donald Duck.
No Donald Duck. I don't believe in that. But anytime someone mentions Tampico, it's like a combination of like nostalgia and PTSD.
Yeah. You know what? I kind of have the same thing too, because we didn't drink Tampico at the house. We had the frozen orange juice. But in college, Tampico is that much cheaper than orange juice for whatever mixed drinks you're going to make. So yeah, having Tampico and tequila makes sense. But because Tampico it's always had this weird taste to me where it gets stuck in the back of my throat, like an aftertaste.
I'm telling like I said, it's not something where you think of like a crisp when you're trying, or like
Right.
or like citric acidy when you're thinking about like lemonade or orange juice or even cranberry juice. Tampico is more akin to milk than it is to orange juice.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how I ever drank this before I put tequila in it, but with tequila in it and then a little bit of Topo Chico, it is the best drink.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, because you're adding things to lighten it up.
2 of the 3 ingredients by themselves are amazing for the most part. I'm not a big Topo Chico person at all, but one can argue that it's delightful. Mm-hmm. And tequila, what type of tequila do you have in there?
Espolón.
Even better. So you have 2 great ingredients and one that is questionable at best, but inherently orange in the arena of orange juice.
It's orange. No, because look, you had what was it? There was like
Sunny D types.
No, there was 3 like very favorite flavors for me. There's a slightly lighter orange, which had the banana-y sting. slightly darker orange, which was more mango forward,
Right.
and then you don't touch the red one because that's chemicals.
No, that's chemicals or grapefruit.
Yeah, it's like-
and fuck grapefruit on all counts.
It's because it was like fruit punchy and but no, like that shit came out like milk. So I'm like, dog, it's not right. And the moment when I had that process and that realization for Tampico was when I was like, why is the juices in the refrigerator and the Tampico in the aisle? Like they just keep it out. Like it's like because that shit can survive. It's like next to cockroaches in terms of radioactivity, explosions, anything. Tampico's gonna be fine.
It's somehow a slight step above drank, right? Because drank is just water, sugar, purple, but the Tampico's right next to it, and it does taste better. It is 50 cents more maybe, but ultimately, and as I mentioned before, it doesn't get cold because I learned this about Hawaiian Punch. People would wonder why Hawaiian Punch never got cold. That's a real thing. Have you ever had Hawaiian Punch?
I've had Hawaiian Punch, but I don't remember the temperature of it.
Right, because you'd have this cold ass can, you drink it, and the cold of the can wouldn't match the flavor. The reason being is that there was so much sugar in Hawaiian Punch that it could not get down to a colder temperature. TJ's laughing.
You just search up Tampico juice, and like the second question that pops up is, why is Tampico just so thick? And I'm like, dog, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not kidding you. It's like literally, it's like people ask,
Wait, what is Tampico juice made of? Why is Tampico juice so thick?
Like,
Bro, I'm gonna call myself Tampico Juice as my stage name, dog.
That's not actually not bad.
Yeah, come to the stage, Tampico. Oh my God, why is he so thick?
nah, sorry, you like, it's like a flood of memories of just me drink because we always had it.
We have feels about this.
Because I'm
No,
like,
no, I agree. It's a flood of memories for me too. That's why when I saw it at HEB, I was like, "What the fuck? They have this? Like, again? I feel like I haven't seen it in like years." And so I had to get it.
That's
and
why-
it still comes like in a fucking, I don't even
in the
know.
jug, like, because they have the little jugs.
A quart.
They didn't have any. They don't have the small sizes. They don't have.
You get 2 gallons or you shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's like you have a gallon or 2 or 3, like the really big one, and that's it.
Yeah, with the handle.
Because like if you can't afford the small gallon one, then you shouldn't even be at the store because it's next to ramen in terms of cheapness.
Right.
But nah, dude, I haven't had Tampico in forever. But now you got me thinking how I can make that work in like some more other cocktails, right?
You're going to stop at HEB on the way home?
Dude, I'm gonna make a college food challenge when I get home. So Tampico and cheap tequila.
You are home.
No, it's like, what did I say?
You said I'm going to do a college food challenge when I get home.
I am home. You're right. When I'm off of the air.
Yeah, he gets up, just goes to his fridge.
I have the ingredients. I'm just
I have
gonna do
the
it for
shit.
fun. No, but like eating like 10 fucking Jack in the Box tacos. I used to do that. Like
I don't
10, no.
I don't think that's safe anymore.
Anymore. Yeah, I know. We were testing the limits of my youth by giving myself some sort of heart condition.
Bro, I had because I was just like slammed with work yesterday because I have some time off coming up. So I was
Again?
Yeah, we've talked about this.
I've talked about this like 15 times.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be off for a while. But I had like I was slammed for work, so I had I ordered something for lunch and I ordered something for like later night and dinner. And just the 2 back-to-back orders, I was like, ugh, like my body can't process this. Even like, ask me 3 years ago, I'd be like, I'm gonna eat Chipotle in the morning. I'm gonna follow that up with fucking Taco Bell stacked with Fat Sal's, and then I'm gonna go to McDonald's for dinner and then chase that down with tequila and then eat after drinking food.
No, man. See, my reckless thing. So I used to live on a street called El Nido in Santa Barbara, IV, and right where there used to be an old bike shop lot, and there used to be an old Mexican restaurant. Now it's all apartment complex. Got gentrified the fuck out of.
Yes.
But it was El Sitio. No, Super Cugas number 2 was right there on the corner, and you'd go. It was open until 2 a.m. or maybe 3 a.m. You'd go. I'd get my super breakfast burrito. It's this fucking thick. Bacon, egg, sausage, potatoes, guacamole, and they had the best habanero salsa. So I'd go, grab the burrito, eat it on down the street, get to my house, eat 3/4 of it, go to sleep, wake up and eat the quarter for the breakfast. And it still had like breakfast nonsense in it. It was the best. And then they moved and got gentrified, and then they suck now. And that makes me incredibly sad because that salsa was amazing.
Hold up. So I'm searching up Tampico's nutritional facts because I'm curious.
How are you going to ruin her drink?
No,
We don't know about this now.
I just want to know. Because I'm like, I've never processed how much sugar and every
You're
other.
drinking a daiquiri.
Now shut up. I'm never. As I was going to say was Tampico gets a bad rep, but maybe it's a lot healthier than we think. And look at that. For 8 fluid ounces, it's 30 calories, 6 grams of sugar. Holy shit!
What?
That's a lot of sugar.
Dude, that's like
No, that's really light on the fluid ounces versus calorie ratio. You get what I'm saying? Because look, double that up. About 16 fluid ounces, equivalent of a can of something, or 12 fluid ounces is the equivalent of a can of a soda, right? Usually you might be having a 120, maybe 160 calories. Tampico is the alternative and healthier option because it's 30 calories for every 8 fluid ounces. Double that up, that's 60 calories for the same sweet taste that you would get drinking juice. I don't even think juice is more unhealthy. So Tampico's healthy for you.
So what you're saying is bars should switch out Tampico for orange juice and have it as a rotational mixer.
No.
Fuck no.
It keeps forever, like you said.
This is going to go into another podcast that we're going to do with the Mexican Mas o Menos pot. But yeah, it took me a long time to learn how unhealthy fruit is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Time out. See, okay, so look. There's fruit, and then there's what Hispanic people do to fruit.
Right. Which the short and the long of it is either add 3 grams of sugar or 8 grams of salt.
Yeah, there's fruit, and then there's the red powdered yellow conjunct. Yeah, no, not tahini. Everything.
Just
I'm talking because I would have just said tahini, which is its own monster, and I don't want to get into that.
Right.
But I walked into this one place off Riverside, which is a street in Austin, and I was like, hey, let me get this, like it was literally like the strawberry, they call it a strawberry whip. And I was expecting strawberries, whipped cream on it because I was trying to eat healthy. That's not what I got. And they only called it a strawberry whip because it was like I was reading the Hispanic words, and I said, no, I'm good. I'm not trying to butcher this.
Fresa con crema.
No. It was not.
Not even that.
Because I would have pronounced that.
Okay.
It was a conjunction of letters that I had never seen in the Spanish vocabulary, and I took 4 years. All right, so I'm not unfamiliar. I'm no straying away. Like, shoot, that's why if anyone ever asks on the podcast, you can fake out being Dominican over here. So, but not the point. I go in there and I'm talking everything was on this bitch. More fruit. There was even there were strawberries at the bottom, but more fruit on top. Spices, salts. You were right. The cream was like not even yogurt. It was like sugar-filled cream. I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Right.
And then I ate that bitch and I still was like, let me get another one right quick. But no, so
because you're thirsty from all the salt.
Yeah, I'm thirsty.
You're like, I need some fruit to cool me down. It's just something to drink. Oh, I'll just drink the syrup here at the bottom.
And then that doesn't even go into the whole thing of like how, as I'm Texas born and raised, and still the biggest hurdle for me, and you've heard me say this on other podcasts, is I am down to clown on all aspects of Hispanic culture. It's what I grew up next to. It's what I grew with. The spices on sweet shit confuse me. I don't understand why tahini goes on everything. It's on I went to one taco over here.
Yeah.
And literally on any fruit options they got in that bitch, it says, eat tahini. Eat tahini. Like you can add it in for everything. Yeah. Margaritas, boom. The mango parfait, boom.
It is great on margaritas.
Yeah, but the fucked up thing is though, it's like $1. It's like $1 for a whole bottle, and they're gonna charge you $1.50 to add it.
Hell yeah.
That profit is fucking massive on the added tahini. I'm just saying.
But that's true on everything.
I know, but you can itemize it, and you can bring your own tahini. To be fair, it's very small. If you have a lady with a purse, they probably have it on them.
Sorry, I took control of that because I wanted to make sure you had the distinction because it's very two different things. I got the rude awakening when I came here for college. So
I always thought fruit was healthy. Like, hey, you're supposed to eat a lot of it, and it's
right.
like, no, you're supposed to eat a little bit of it. Like, it's good,
right?
But the moment you cut it up, you're actually cutting up the fibers, and it's it's less healthy for you. Like, it sucks, but yeah.
So smoothies aren't healthy?
Nope.
No, depending on, you have to make them at home for them to be healthy.
They also have to have a lot of kale in them and other green.
Well, that's fine. You can't taste it. It's just bulk. At that point,
the real trick is you got to get a lot of This is why I like citrus fruits so much, right? Because they pack, like, you get pineapple, you get some, like, lemon and, like, some lower calorie fruits. And that carries the flavor for a lot of things. So that way, when you add the kale and the spinach and, you know, the ludicrous amounts of tahini, it tastes great.
Luda. Sorry. I was thinking about all these foods, and I'm like, yeah, I want to do that. Like, between the cereal and her Tampico, I'm just gonna eat like a monster this weekend, and then when the clock strikes Sunday, I'm gonna go back to being healthy and a normal human being. So
yeah, I'm gonna go be an old school kid, dog. Yeah, she got me trying to. No, I'm gonna do the old high school combo, dude. I'm gonna do Tampico and elotes.
No, so I'm refresh
myself.
Like, I'm super like fall on the horse, fall off the horse when it's eating right. So like. We started the 4th of July, we went tubing and everything like that. And I was like, oh, cool. I'll just have a couple, extra foodstuffs here, drink and have fun. And then I just made it happen for the whole month. And so it's like, all right, I got to go buy groceries like a human, stop eating out in delivery. It's embarrassing how much I pay for delivery. And I'm going to get back on the horse. But
Did you get a pass yet?
Pass for what?
Like a DoorDash pass or Uber pass?
Oh, no. I see. My thing was that
I have both.
But
that's because Uber Pass works for grocery delivery. So
see, I had it and then I took it off to discourage me from doing it, and then I just spent like $80 on delivery fees. Yeah, it hurt real bad, but it hurt enough to where I'm like, okay, I don't need to do this anymore. So
see, I accept that I'm gonna eat out when I want to eat out, but also, because I'm trying to mind the cheeks, and trying to make sure that come next year, vid or not, I'm looking good. Mm-hmm. I just maneuver it into, instead of spending all that money ordering food, now I just order groceries.
Have we done a COVID podcast yet? I don't think so.
We have, I think, maybe, I don't know.
COVID about what?
Just in general,
like one of these shows.
Yeah,
technically, today's topic can bleed into that too.
Yeah, it's sad. I don't want to talk about COVID. Fuck that shit. It's bad. Get vaccinated, you fuckers. There you go.
I don't think that talking about Joe. I'm gonna keep calling him Joe Budden because of you. But
yes.
Yeah, it's not gonna be very much cheerful.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to talk. Well, I'm fine. I'll yell on his behalf. It's fine.
Hey, how about instead of thinking about Joe Budden, you switch over to Joe Biden?
One quick, whatever. Do we just do it live? Because I don't know if the intro's queued up.
Yeah, no, it is. You go to black. Say, hey, everybody. You switch it to me.
I know how to do it. All you got to do is tell me, hey, it's good. But yeah, we're going to take a quick blackout, start the intro, and start the show.
Bye. I'm kidding. It will be.
That's the wrong one. Go to black. Yeah, I'm post.
Like, just save it for post.
I do have time this weekend to come edit on Sunday. Learn how to edit.
Okay, that's fine. But I'm post, everybody. Welcome.
Welcome to Mongrel Radio.
I'm doing it.
I don't think we have the Rob Zombie music as an intro.
Mongrel Radio. It's totally mealy.
That's not.
This is where we talk about. This is where we talk about politics. And
I'll be your host, Marco. I'm here all the time. Across from me, we
have... You haven't been in like 4 shows.
Hey, nigga, I disappeared for like 3 weeks. He's good. He's fine.
What did I miss?
Well, no, I'm just saying that we never had to change your mic for like 3 times. It's just been collecting dust on this windowsill. Hi, everybody. I'm Post.
You deserve your break, too.
I didn't get no break. Depression is not a break.
Yes, it is.
Depression
in Mexcellence time, it is.
It's a medical condition. Hi, everybody. I'm Sammy Gonzalez, a.k.a. the Depressed Excellence. And joining me to my left, your right.
It's TJ. What's up? But why would you focus on me? You could focus on our lovely other host.
Oh my God. Aly,
I like deadpan. I like deadpan intros.
Via satellite. We satellited you in, not Wi-Fi.
Me. Okay, I'm sorry. I feel like Dr. Manhattan right now, guys, because I'm like watching the stream and
Like I said,
in between two timelines.
No, I like that deadpan intro. That's we're gonna TikTok.
Our beautiful co-host here. She's just like, who me?
Yes.
Me, you say?
How did these fuckers coerce me again?
That was very swagalicious, that intro.
I mean, to be fair, we can't really do the show without Ellie.
Yeah.
There's like an authenticness missing to it.
But the problem is she can't see us, and so it's just like she's looking at herself, which is behind the
curtain.
The curtain. There you go.
Hey, but you know what? We
this
bring in.
curtain.
See, that's the importance of of how to describe it, because she's not a guest, she's a regular host, but she has specific shows. That's the quality, because when she shows up, that the level of show gets elevated a little bit.
Yeah, we got to act right. We're not
we
gonna
gotta
act
act
a
like
fool.
we gotta act like we actually have some sense. Like we
Yeah,
went to
I
school.
wish she could be here all the time. I'll be real with you.
Oh, I know. I want her here all the time too, because we don't act right. We're a bunch of hoodlums, and we talked about whether the Kool-Aid Man was black or not for like 7 minutes.
Which was actually going to be my intro. One of my intro notes. That thank you guys so much, because the Kool-Aid Man, the Kool-Aid Man TikTok actually hit a 20K,
To the moon.
20K so far after posting it yesterday, which is really good.
It was really stupid.
So getting a lot of love on that TikTok, on the Instagram, and hopefully when it gets on Shorts, it'll get a lot of too.
So guys, just remember, everything you need to say needs to be quotable and TikTokable, okay? So be like, Joe Biden's the greatest. Don't cut away. You got to let me do my thing. Joe Biden's the greatest president ever. And then you got to say something really sharp and contradictory and angry.
I hate black people.
New TikTok. TikToks for everybody.
No,
How's too fat to read doing?
Very well as well.
there's a lot. The last few have been doing okay.
I'm gonna make that a TikTok now. That's so stupid. Joe Biden's the greatest. I hate black people.
Just you better add this. You better add this at the end too.
Nope.
No.
No context.
No, hell yeah. You're not fucking me over like that.
I'm-
Yeah. I will stop that right there. Taylor does not hate black people.
He is black people.
I am black people. I'm actually super. Now I gotta defend myself. I have one black friend. Come on, guys.
Dude, I think I need to get a gavel from now on. Like, all right,
No,
settle down.
No, you need to speak up. I tell you guys to shut up all the time.
No, you don't.
I told him to shut up, and he almost punched me in the face.
Your move to tell us to shut up is right, and then you switch to
Exactly.
No. You didn't tell me to shut up.
I shut you up by being rude.
Yeah, and then that's what caught me. Because normally, if you're like, oh, you can wrap it up. And the thing was, the whole point.
Okay, so we're not bringing it up. We're done.
I was almost done.
Oh, is this?
Yeah, I was like, when I got crunk,
You missed it.
I had
No,
my.
I did not miss it. I caught it.
I cut it from the show permanently. I'm kidding.
But what are we here to talk about today, Marco?
Yeah, man.
We are here to grade because we just passed the 100-day mark of Joe Biden's first. I mean, I think
It's been.
It goes.
It's been 100 days.
Yeah, but we haven't done this show in a month.
Fair enough.
In 500 years.
It's been 84 years.
But no, yeah. Just to go back, I thought it would be nice to start with the softball, even though it was weird that. So I put out a poll yesterday. It's like, hey, how would you grade Joe Biden? There's almost no uniformity to.
Was there an
it.
average? Like, did you do like a GPA average of all of them with the A? Because you did a letter grade, so there are a couple A in there, a couple C's, a couple B's.
I would say that the average would probably be an 80, so a B minus.
Okay.
But that's just because it's literally not uniform. It was literally A B C D A B C D A B C D.
No F's. That's
because we just saw an F before this guy.
Oh yeah, no, and our fans skew liberal. We've weeded them out. I hope by now to say fuck you.
But even if you are conservative, there was nothing in Donald Trump's presidency that was even organized. Like he didn't have a whole cabinet for most of his presidency.
Right.
I just hear a hater hating.
Yeah, man. What do you?
Okay, well, he's probably back in 2024. So
I'd rather that not be the case. Never said I wanted that. I don't even know.
No, they're all gonna get coronavirus, and I'm not saying I'm looking forward to that, but
who's they?
Is people go to the super rallies, which he hasn't been able to fill really. With was it Tucker Carlson? Who's he doing?
He's
with?
closed a couple, and Tucker Carlson is now in Montana, like hanging out in Bass Pro Shops and shit. Like that.
Getting yelled at. No, but who is the guy he did the book tour with Trump right now that he can't fill stadiums with? He's on a book tour right now with some.
I haven't paid attention to Donald Trump since they took away his blog.
No, he took away his blog.
Well, either way, it's gone.
All right, well, get us on with Joe Biden's bitch ass.
Well, just wanted to start with an easy softball. I mean, who voted for him?
I think I did. I'm not sure. If I didn't vote for president.
Oh, like you might have left it blank?
I might have left it blank. I don't remember.
Mickey Mouse style? No way.
It was one of those picks where, you know, I just knew the alternative was not the preferable option. And so I wanted to make sure my input was counted. And I'm not one of the people who normally would even go out of my way to make sure I'm in lines like that. Just because, not the point.
You waited in a line?
Yeah, nigga, there was a long line. But when it comes to this, it just didn't feel right trying to do an independent vote. Even though that's probably where my heart lied the most, I was just like, realistically, let me make sure that my vote's attributing towards something a little bit more realistic. Now, as we continue on, fuck, man, I'm going back to my hipster ass, like, I'm a circle the third person.
No, wait, you didn't raise your hand.
I didn't vote for him.
So what did or did you not vote for?
I voted for Joe Jorgensen because
you fucking idiot.
I voted for what I cared about, which was ending qualified immunity, immigration laws being reversed.
Yeah, I know why you did it, but that's still dumb. I'm not going to call Aly dumb. I'm going to call you dumb.
She didn't vote at all.
Abstain is better than Joe Jorgensen.
I might have. I legit do not remember.
That's fine. If it's abstain, you didn't vote for Joe Jorgensen, did you?
No. I didn't.
Exactly. That's a better vote. Abstain is a better vote.
Abstain?
That's what we call it. We would vote for elected officials in our org, and if you abstained, we called him Abstain.
I thought you were making an Epstein reference.
No, it's a Mexican straw man named Abstain who you can vote for if you don't want to choose anybody that's worth it.
Hey, Tarlin.
Who? Oh, Tarlin's here. Oh,
Don!
Hey, Don.
Hey, I hope you're recovering and feeling great.
Yeah, he's got weird numbness in his right hand, which is not the hand they worked on. You'll get through it, buddy. It's spinal surgery, guy. It's a friend of ours. Oh, also, since we're still early on, our friend Steve Chacon, man, he's got fucking leukemia, and that's a
damn.
motherfucker. So he's got good research people. He's got a good doctor in hospitals. So we're gonna wish you our best and biggest prayers, man. I'm rooting for you. I don't like commenting on the post because death is real fucked up with me right now, but I do want to wish you the fucking best, dog. And you're gonna fucking beat it because you're ready to fucking go. He's like, I'm gonna kick fucking leukemia's ass. I'm gonna fucking punch him in the face. I'm like, dude, you're way aggressive for someone with cancer, but he's about that life.
Punching his own self.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I'm a fight.
No, because he's like, oh yeah, I got some bad blood work. Fuck, I got fucking cancer. I'm gonna fuck cancer up though. This is literally his Facebook post. And everyone since, he's like, yeah, I got my fucking bone marrow ripped out of my flesh. I'm gonna fuck cancer up though, homie. Like, he became gangster out of nowhere.
Hey man, that's the energy. To be honest, that's the energy you need.
No, that's the energy he has, right? But the problem is he's gonna beat cancer, and then he's gonna be fucking aggressive the rest of his life. I fucked up cancer. I'm gonna fuck you up too, and he's gonna get shredded, and it's gonna be scary.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
I know.
I'm hearing a lot of hater.
He's gonna be a menace.
I think Sammy's like, well, I wish I had cancer so I could become gangster.
Well, he's gonna be cooler than me, and he already was, but now he's gonna be even cooler, and that's not fair.
All right,
Damn.
bro. Game plan. We got to give Sam cancer.
This is why I don't want to. Like, that's why I said it's dark, because we just take it there. That's where it's gonna go.
I don't think I was.
There's our TikTok.
There's two. Yay!
Hope this made you laugh, Steve. They're gonna start feeding me lead pellets and shit. It's gonna be a jolly good time.
I'm getting better and feeling stronger. Right hand is getting better.
Good.
Going to pray for the guy. So I guess he means Steve.
Oh yeah, Steve. Yeah. No, but Don. Going back to him. Yeah, he got.
That was Don.
Yeah, he had spinal surgery. He couldn't feel his left hand. He's like, yeah, I can't lift shit. And he works at a job where he needs to lift shit.
I have a long overdue dinner for him, and hopefully when he's once he's all good, make sure of that.
Yeah, he's got vaccines and stuff. So we're waiting for his vaccine so we can go eat fucking Red Lobster. And then he's like, I got to get the surgery. I'm like, fuck, Don. But
Don't worry, Don. We always remember.
We always remember.
I'm pretty sure anytime I mention Don, I bring it up. I'm like, damn. Dinner, but then you're like, you were like last time. He had the surgery, so I'm glad everything went well.
Right.
So I'll keep praying for you, just like I'll be praying for Steve.
Exactly. And the point is that we can't go to Red Lobster because of fucking coronavirus, which is from the old president, and now the new president, Joe Biden, which this episode's about, is trying to fix it. But circling back,
I was just gonna hang back just a little bit.
Okay.
Going back to November, going back to I voted for blah blah blah. You guys voted for blah blah blah. So I know you were very cynical, like, with the election happening, because it wasn't overnight. Like
oh yeah, I held my breath the entire time.
Month. It took like a month.
No, not only that. I was still holding my breath up until January 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th through 20th. Man,
20th is like when you got in.
20th is when they went inside. Like after Garth Brooks showed up in jeans. Once Garth Brooks exited, I was like, okay, I think he's president now. I think we're fine.
I gotta say on that note, Joe having Lady Gaga and Garth Brooks throw a
Garth
show.
Brooks, yeah.
No, yeah.
Did I
You
say
said
that?
Garth Brooks.
Okay, just making sure.
You were right.
I get my country guys mixed up.
But yeah, having Lady Gaga and Garth Brooks play a special concert for you, that is awesome. No matter, like, that's an ACL level show.
Can I tell you one thing that probably the most single petty thing I've ever done with the whole Trump administration thing? Obviously, I'm a big hater.
You've done a lot of petty things.
But I think
you literally, like, I'm pretty sure you had the pinata picture, right?
Oh yeah, but that's not
Twice.
even petty. That's aggressive, right? Petty is like the minimum effort, most ire. I've stopped listening to Three Doors Down. Because they were at his inauguration. They were the only band that they could get for his inauguration. The guys who did Kryptonite. I love the song fucking Kryptonite.
I thought Trapped was the people that were Trump supporters.
No, they might have been Trump supporters. And I don't even... Trapped...
That is all correct.
But Three Doors Down played his inauguration along with some other racist people and some poor, like, little American white girl, singer girl who took the opportunity. I don't blame her too much unless she's a racist now. She was like 16 now. She's old enough to vote. But fuck Three Doors Down for playing his goddamn inauguration. No more Kryptonite. No more I'm Here Without You, baby. These are songs I love from my childhood, and I gave them up because fuck them. Fuck you, Three Doors Down, you fuckers.
So energetic. What were you gonna say?
So I was just gonna say, in a hypothetical scenario, let's say Trump stumbled upon this little mini podcast and offered us, I don't know, solid $5 to $10 million to do a show at his inauguration. Would you have gone?
No.
I would have.
I would.
No, yeah.
We be up there. Mexcellent. Trump likes Hispanic people. Like, you have to chop and screwed my voice to make it sound like that. No, I'm kidding. There are a few things.
Realistically, would you have?
There's a
$5 million is a real offer. That's a lot of real money. I honestly think I would rather not.
At the start of his presidency, yes, because I was still a little more like not neutral, but I definitely took the camp of like
it was the give him a chance, which existed.
I wasn't even like giving him a chance. I was just like, hey, like before we go straight up doom and gloom, let's just see how it plays out. So at the start, maybe. About, a month or two in, no. But at the start, probably would have.
I don't understand why anybody thought they wanted to wait and see. But that's just me.
Well, Dave Chappelle even said it. It's just a matter of
immediately he was like, I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that's fine. But it's just that was where the mindset is. You're accelerating everything through the rear view. And I know you didn't like him even as he was going in. And that's fine. But so we're going to compare this to the Biden presidency. That's going to be the flip. I didn't like Trump the moment that he was like the Keystone Pipeline. He reversed it. Like after that was when Obama was still president and the water protectors were still there.
Right.
Yeah. Obama was like, oh yeah, should probably not let that happen. That was like his last final acts.
Right. Yeah.
And then
they're like, we won, we did it. We're not going to be blasted with hoses.
And then Trump was like, nah, oil. And then yeah, so that was his first action that I was like, all right, so 100% not on the Trump train.
But why would you ever think that he wasn't going to do anything like that?
No.
That's
It wasn't
kind
that
of
you.
the thing,
It wasn't
right?
that you didn't think it was a possibility, right? But it's more so that when you catastrophize things, it's two ways, right? When you catastrophize things, oftentimes it already makes sure that no matter what they do, it's going to affect and impact you way more than it really should. And then on top of that, you also have to frame it because you're not giving the sort of perspective that is warranted for anybody who is in a position of power, right? Like, you don't want to immediately, it's like saying it's very similar to just being, guilty before proven innocence. It's very similar to trials, right? We have the immediate mindset, especially when I was working as a legal assistant, like, first type of case I worked on was a child molestation case. You already know where your minds go. Like, automatically villainizing the person who's the defendant and victimizing the person who is persecuting. But
You're going to have to drag this one from the depths. I'm waiting for it.
But whenever, I mean, if you want like kind of some history, whenever all the evidence that I'm reading, that I'm researching, and all the things are pointing towards that not being true.
Oh, that not being true. Okay.
That not being true. It doesn't matter. It's a very hard burden of proof bringing sort of people onto the same side of you, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's our natural biases that oftentimes cloud true and valid opinion. That's why I always go with the camp of let's wait and see before I'm gonna before I get real crunk with something. No matter how bad it is, because I need to see those actions. Because as with any president, as with any politician, as with anybody in power, they can say a bunch of shit, but it's all about the actions. And then as soon as those actions start happening, not too long after, you're like, that's a dumbass.
I was about to say,
I feel like we saw like Trump's true character like
Right.
way before he was even president.
Right.
Like, look at how he used to talk to like Rosie O'Donnell and how he was like calling about Obama's like citizenship just because of his name. Like,
Birtherism, the
all
first.
that was going on, and I was like, this is not the guy.
No, and you know, the whole thing is like, I totally understand those perspectives, right? But it's all about like what action someone takes the moment they're in there. And no, you can value, and like even before then, like it didn't help that I already was in a place of I don't really like the last two presidential elections. I've been like I don't really like either of the options. I don't really care for either of the options. The first round, HC, she was fine.
I did not like.
But I like she was fine. She was candidate, whatever. I didn't vibe that much.
Yeah.
I sure as hell didn't vibe with Donald Trump. But I already was already disincentivized from keeping my cognizance, my attention, my perspective, all in tune to every action the candidate was taking. Because I was like, well, fucked either way. So for me, I was like, it was wait and see no matter which option I went with. So maybe that might have kind of played into my mentality. But overall, I think that just I have a natural tendency to be as neutral as possible until I have actual factual backlines for it from actions. And I know words can lean us a lot of ways, but there's so many times where politicians can say, do, act like, say, do kind of represent something in the moment that they have an awakening, or the moment that they're in office, they could be a neutral, like, ley line, right? That's what I was expecting. I was like Donald Trump to say all this shit, get in there and be like,
No, my thing with politicians, just to kind of go broadly into our opinions on them, yeah, good ones go bad ones don't go good unless the Pope literally yells at you. I forget what politician it was, but he was like a super Christian guy, Catholic guy, and the Pope was meeting U.S. officials, came to America, whatever. He talked to this one politician. I forgot who it was, because 2 weeks later, he fucking quit. Because the Pope was like, you're going to die. Maybe not so many words, but he was just like, the Pope lectured him on him not being a good Catholic, and he quit the fucking job, he was a Republican, and he's like, I'm fucking out. I'm done.
Another like important thing to remember though is that Trump isn't a politician.
Right.
That's what I was going to say, that for people that were slightly optimistic or give them a chance, I mean, I know several friends that were, and I mean mutual friends, not my friends.
Yeah. They'll tell me who they are because I'll disrespect them.
Well, one of them we're going to go see play on Sunday.
I'm going to disrespect them.
But
I'm going to kick him in the shin.
you like that one.
I know. I love him. I love him to death. I'm going to kick him in the fucking shin.
But for people that were like, let's see what happens, like Dave Chappelle was, it all came from a point that Trump really did start at zero because he doesn't have a political like history.
Right.
You can look at Hillary Clinton's bills and judge one way or the other. Trump didn't have that. Like, that was the only reason why people were like, maybe it won't be
I
that
don't
bad.
fucking either, but that doesn't mean you should put me in charge of anything.
That's true. That is so true. You know what? Actually, that's the truest statement you have ever said.
Right, and at the very least, if you look at my fucking history, I'm kind of a dickhead, but ultimately I have a good moral core.
No. Your first point was right.
I don't accidentally go into Miss America's 16-year-old fucking dressing rooms for fun, being like, "Oops, sorry, girls, you're undressed." I don't do that shit.
Having a good moral core isn't enough. Some of our best presidents were terrible people.
Wait, oh yeah, of course, but that's because they're psychopaths. But at the very least, I would be corrupted. I'd be good and turn bad. Right? I can make all these promises and then not keep them, like politicians do. They keep like what 40% of what their promises are, something like that, maybe even less.
Part of me just wants like the country to be run by like an African president, right quick, just to show them,
like warlord one, or mom.
Just to show them, or like an African, or like another man. Choose anyone from South America, put one of those niggas in head of here, and see what a real corrupt government is like.
That last one, man.
Not to say our government's great.
No, I'm saying
just
last
saying
one.
it puts it in perspective. So that's where I'm like, to me, my headspace, right? Because I'm using Zimbabwe as like because I have, but like I'm very in line with that governmental system, and I know it's a different country, right?
Yeah, and you have a compound there, so you could hide out in the compound.
It's not how it works, dumbass.
You can hide in the compound.
All right.
But like when you're thinking about political systems, for me, like. A lot of people, I know what their ground zero, whatever they're thinking, what was the worst was, right? But I'm like, I guess I've seen governments and systems where it's like a ground zero is genuine death, right? Like, so I'm like, so it's real. So I guess my bandwidth for understanding might have been interplayed in terms of my run up as well. But I totally never at a point was I gung ho for like super proactive, always neutral negative. What about y'all?
I feel like our government is as corrupt as like any other fucking government in South America or in any African country. It's just that we don't necessarily see it in news or in everyday society. Like a lot of the reasons that like South American countries, have fucked up governments was because, the United States of America interfered with it at some point or another.
Just sanctioned the shit out of it.
Pause.
I was about to say, like, so you have Zimbabwe as a compass. I have Mexico as kind of my, like, compass, yeah. This is how corrupt it could be. I can't think of a time, at least I don't know of, that, I mean, no, there's a lot of times, but at least recent history that 42 dissidents were killed in the United States. Like, they disappeared and no one knows where they went.
Where are those kids in Seattle? The ones that
did
the Black Lives Matter protests, the people that got disappeared in the vans?
I was trying to figure out, like, are you trying to mean the people that took over the city block?
Well, no. Well, there was like, I think leading up to that, or like one of the Black Lives Matter protests, they were just fucking disappearing people.
It was ICE agents and they were arresting people. They're out, but it was not in Seattle for some reason. That's also another reason why I was heavily against Trump. And also against ending qualified immunity. It was in Portland. So Seattle Seattle had the whole black bloc takeover. And then for some reason Trump was, because Seattle had too many rules and regulations for them to send it, but Trump was like, yeah, we'll send them to Portland. And I think Portland had something like 200 days of protests over Black Lives Matter or something like that.
I would I mean, like you're saying, like I get it. I'm not saying, and Aly, I'm not saying that America's government isn't corrupt. It's very corrupt, and to act like there aren't nuances and discrepancies and also ultimate layers into every system and how it impacts minorities, impacts on the individuals impoverished, whether you even middle class isn't even rep that well anymore too.
What middle class?
It's just a matter, but the whole perspective I have is like you're saying, where. I grew up where, my parents are just telling me the worst of what's happening back home to family members, to people that to people that that are entwined. And so to me, at the very least, from from a leadership perspective, there's too many checks to make things like that happen. But that doesn't warrant any of those interactions or things that happen here too. And it doesn't mean that we can't learn and I shouldn't have to make the comparison to ground zero to our own leadership, like that was happening at a certain point. And then when we get to the end of Trump's presidency, bringing it back to Biden, right? That's when you get to a real, like, what the fuck's happening? There's a genuine riot. Genuine people trying to insurrection, and they're like peaceful, but every peaceful protest was shut down in a heartbeat last year, right? And 2020 did nothing good for Trump. 2020 showed I had very little.
Actually, I think it's the other way. You had a lot of patience for what bad government would be.
Yeah. I had a lot of patience for what bad government could be, but at the point I hit, by the time you get 2019, I'd hit the point of like, there's zero tolerance for there's very little tolerance for individuals who are still siding or very, very heavily supporting. If you support, fine, but like give me some rationale. By the time I got to 2020, there's just too many things where you're like, if you went to school, elementary goddamn school, there's no reason why you can't see like what the inaccuracies, what the negatives, like what these sort of genuinely impactful and negative things towards our government would be, right? And so how that relates to how, Biden comes into office and what he's playing with, I think a lot of people in the general sentiment was just like, and it's tough because I know we're going to talk about kind of what he's been doing in office actively, but whenever he's going in there, everyone was already coming into the approach of like, it's just better than what we had before, but that doesn't mean it's great, right? And so it's a really tough position to be coming into the office into, where that a lot of those default votes, where it was still way too close than it needed to be, but a lot of those default votes were coming from individuals who were like,
I do want to say that because we've already painted the perfect picture for Joe to enter the fray, but it's just like, I know you just gave me a lot of shit for why I voted Joe Jorgensen, but I felt like in a little bit that we needed a libertarian candidate in the sense that it was like, it shouldn't be this much. The president should not have this much power, Democrat or Republican. They really shouldn't have this much power to do all this stuff. And that's where we're at, where it's just like, when you were, to my friends that were Trump supporters, it kind of started fading away when they saw things like the Portland police that you were talking about, because it's like, oh, then Joe Biden could have his own Portland secret police.
And they want to talk about President overreach. They let that motherfucker do whatever the fuck he wanted. Everyone did. So
he has a cult of personality that still does that, but I don't know anybody in that cult at this point.
Right, but at the same time, it doesn't matter if Joe Biden decided to do some. Actually, and we'll get to that in my opinion of what they kind of need to do. Trump opened the fucking playbook of how to just strong arm your way to do certain shit and not have people question it, and the Democrats were being soft as shit. I'll say that every fucking turn. They're soft as shit half the time on this stuff. But you're talking about, I don't like the president having this much power. They loved it when it's their team, and they're always going to love it when it's their team. Every side. So you know what? You got to vote for whoever has the strongest hand and whoever's going to do broadly what's going to be best for you.
Pause. Nah, I'm actually in the camp more along you, where, I get it. Power sides, fucking blue team, red team. You better box out, bro, because, that's just how the standard's been. But I think that our government has hit the point. I think that our society is at the point where I don't know if I've said the sentiment on the podcast before, but it's a video. It's like something a piece of content I'm creating is about. I hate how we've become. It's either something has to be a 0 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. Or you have to love or hate something. There's always got to be giant fucking polarizing things. And there can't be this goddamn middle ground where you take apples and oranges from both sides. And that's why going forward, and not even going forward, even this last time, I wasn't kidding when I said the only reason I went Biden was just because I was like, literally, I know that I just need to add this hand because we got something crazy, right? But it has been time for someone who is more neutralized, who is just a different flavor, because our democratic system that is supposed to allow for anybody to have a shot is run by two different systems, like literally two different parties, and it's defeated the whole purpose.
I agree with you, TJ. Like, this whole two-party system just isn't working at all. Like it's a no-go. Like, right, but I will say that right now I feel like Joe Biden is neutral. Like what a true Democrat is, what a true leftist is, what a true however far left on the spectrum you want to go. Joe Biden is not it. Joe Biden is a centrist at the end of the day. He's not even a true Democrat.
Right. And that's the thing, though. I mean, even that works better than what we have. And you guys, I want to think like you guys. I want to be the guy who's like, yeah, we'll find peace and harmony in the middle. Honestly, I realize our generation is closer to fucking the 60s hippies, man. Watching TikTok and watching how the kids like speak to each other and what they want. Like I saw this video of some guy, some probably Iraqi, Middle Eastern guy about to get blowed up. And he's like, I love you, mom. Love you, dad. You know, brother, take care of my mom. And everyone's like, why is there war? And these are like 12, 16, 18-year-old, 22-year-old kids. They're like, why is there war? Wars are stupid. And they're starting to realize the machine of, you know, the American military, right? And it's like, oh, yeah, that's what the 60s people were. And we called them fucking hippies and losers, or at least the parents did. And what do we call TikTok kids? Bunch of fucking hippies and losers and dorks and snowflakes, if you will.
So hey, now time out. Don't you stop them from being soft.
No, no. I'm not saying that. People love fucking hippies in the 60s, and that's where we got a lot of the love and the thing, and that's where you got some good social movement, right? A lot of that stuff was co-opted. Go ahead.
I feel like I have a lot of faith in the kids,
right,
you know, of the future, just because, like, you're absolutely right. Like, I feel like, you know, history repeats itself at the end of the day, and I feel like, you know, the kids of tomorrow or the next generation that's coming up, you know, is that generation that's kind of, like, very open, like the way that you're describing like the people of the 60s are, but now they're armed with information,
right,
and access to that information at all times, and they actually utilize the fuck out of it. Like they're like the number one demographic on YouTube, and you can literally learn anything on YouTube.
Right, and it makes me laugh. The reason why I discovered this, I just want to bring it to lighten up just a little a step, was Lil Nas X. He's like my favorite guy right now because he's super gay and he's super musical and he's really talented. I like all his tunes.
He's unapologetically gay.
Right, and so what's happening?
It's awesome to see. It's just like, it's so funny how unapologetic.
Right, he's like super gay. He released his new song, and he's with a bunch of dudes in pink penitentiary uniforms, and they're fucking twerking, and it's great. Actually, no, they're naked and they're twerking. It's fun times, but you look at guys our age, 30-year-old guys, 29-year-old guys, and be like, ugh. Fucking this gay guy's gonna make all of us gay. We don't like this. And I'm like, wow, they got people our age clutching their pearls like a bunch of elderly like rock and roll moms, where it's like rock and roll's the devil. Like people are saying like he's the devil. I mean, he fucked the devil or gave him a lap dance and ripped his head off in another music video. But there's literally moms and people like, oh my god, he's the work of the devil. It's like, are we back in the fucking 50s? I thought we were beyond this, but we're not, and that's fun.
Okay, I'm not defending them, but that music video had him fucking the devil.
No, but who gives a shit? No, but Prince was out here wearing fucking girls' blouses and shit and making great music.
He didn't fuck with
but no,
devil.
but like I don't care. Like
Ozzy Osbourne fucking bit a fucking rat in real life
concert,
or bat.
At a concert.
Yeah,
you couldn't.
No, much like how we would side with it. I'm not stopping him from dropping anything he wants to do. But I'm not going to fault people who have like lighter backgrounds or backgrounds where like they don't normally see that from being like, that's a lot for me.
Yeah, but the thing is if with the information age that it is, get with the fucking program or get left behind. And that's what politics...
That's not getting in with the program or getting left behind. You're allowed to have preferences. And you're allowed to voice said fucking preferences. Right. So fuck you for being so against that.
No.
I'm not saying that they should shut him down though or call him the devil for it. That's not what
but that's what they're going to do. And that's what I'm talking about. Right? And I mean, that brings back to the point, which is there's gray area. You're right. There is. But the side that wants control and the one that's trying to hold on to power, they're not playing by those fucking rules. They're playing for keeps. They want to keep power. They want to keep gay people from not doing shit. They want to keep women from having abortions. They want to keep women from having fucking basic health coverage for their things that they need to do. Women things that I don't quite understand. The logistics are there, but I want them to have it.
Pause.
Right?
Y'all too. What's up?
I was just going to say, like, at least on this point that you're trying to make, to counter this point, you're not going to win an argument by making things about gay or not gay or racism or not racism, because the other side just doesn't care about that
right,
anymore.
Which is why the point I was trying to make was you need to beat them swiftly, entirely, and by any means necessary. And if it means sacrificing some of the shit that you need done or want done for yourself for the greater good, you got to do it right now, because right now the flow of the conversation is fear of the coronavirus. That's keeping a lot of people complacent in one camp or the other, and it's I think it's sharpening that divide right now at this very moment. Even though we got Joe Biden, even though we were like, he's kind of the bandage, and then we can now do some real healing with a proper person 4 years from now, and the Congress a year from now when we vote. This was just a stopover. This was just to stop the bleeding. But because coronavirus is happening, people are fucking scared to death. They don't want to die, so they're going to hold on to whatever side that they have. I'm almost done. And so we can't do that right now.
No,
we can't do that right now. We can't just let them play their game.
Let me start with an interesting thing, because this is all about the battle of ideas,
right?
Is how it should be. Does Joe win this presidency without COVID?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Like if coronavirus.
If coronavirus didn't happen, does Joe still win? Does he still beat Trump last year?
I would hope so.
I would say no.
I would say no too.
I would say he beats him even more. I think people go out there. Actually,
no.
Yeah, I would say
no. Look, because like I was saying, 2020 is the year where Trump's inaccuracies, to me, were pointed out the clearest and most undefinable, and it was still close.
Well, it's close because of all the suppression. If you have the ability to go out and protest without the threat of coronavirus, I think a lot of this shit gets shut down.
But protesting isn't voting. Like
I talk about like the Georgia stuff where they were trying to shorten the times and do stuff like that. I think,
but that didn't pass till after.
Right, but getting in people's faces about stuff like that. I know protesting doesn't vote, but protesting gets in people's fucking faces. And I think that what he was doing at the time. Let's say it continues the same way even without coronavirus, people were going to get mad and they were going to get even more upset. And you think that the Black Lives Matter protests during that year were anything? No, they would have been twofold, because I would have been out there. There were more people out there that supported it, that were scared of coronavirus.
I think we're taking it from very different perspectives, right? Because I actually think that a lot of those Black Lives Matter protests wouldn't have gotten the spotlight they would have in a year where it wasn't anything else what you could do except focus on that, right? Where you like.
That's a very good point.
Like,
I think watching George Floyd die.
No. Because the whole thing is, it is visceral, but you can distract yourself with we don't have attention spans. We, as a society, with the amount of things that are like constantly being consumed, we don't have attention spans. You can distract yourself. You can do a lot of other different things. But that happened at the right when shit was completely locked down, back-to-back instances.
2 months after COVID lockdown really started, there was no sports, there was no movies, there was nothing you could do.
There was nothing. And a great example about that is how Breonna Taylor got highlighted after Corona happened, right next to George Floyd stuff, because that instance you had to focus on it. Things got slowed down.
I think that the difference is you got to see it. I've had this talk on the show before, where when you see it, Breonna Taylor, you see kind of some blurry cam footage. You can kind of make some assumptions.
There was no cam footage.
Well, you get the leading up to it, right?
Yeah.
You see her getting tousled around. That's it. You saw this guy in HD vertical cam getting his neck fucking stepped on.
See,
I think that when you see, and I even get darker. Who the kids? Sandy Hook. You saw them holding shoulders and crying. You didn't see none of those fucking bloody kids. That honestly, if you saw some bloody kids, you probably would see some change. But because you didn't see it, nobody gave a shit because they weren't able to connect it. I think that in terms of those types of social things, I think when you see it, and I think that was such a blatant sight. That's what influenced it versus.
I have to make an unfair comparison, and it's unfair just in the sense that it's tragic.
Yeah.
Orlando, 43 people died.
But you didn't see anybody. You saw the stories. You saw people running.
That's still a lot of death.
No, but you can't conceptualize numbers that big.
But, okay, let me put it this way. So for me, to this day, I have never been able to watch the George Floyd thing.
Yeah, I've not been able.
So my whole thing is, I felt passion. It was top of mind for me. And I've never seen it, not because I'm outside of me just being black and mattering to me. It became a conversation. It became, and I'm not trying to leverage this as I know all, but because of my job, I can tell you verbatim, number statistically wise, the engagement on these activities and the way that individuals are able to absorb material dramatically increased because we were locked indoors. It wasn't because it was watchable. It's because you had nothing else to watch and you could not distract your attention from it. Like it's a platform thing. It's there's actual analytics behind that in terms of the exposure, how individuals are like, because I get it. If you want it, like in a perfect world, I'd hope for people to see some shit and actually get compelled to go protest, motivate, and be able to have that conversation. But it became that thing that everybody was able to discuss for as long as it was because there wasn't anything else to pull away from it. There was no sports. There was not a lot of media. It was either coronavirus or this. And unfortunately, coronavirus was so damn dreary that people switched to focusing on just something just as dreary, but
it was easier to be
it was
angry
eerie,
than be sad.
But it was
Angry.
physical to be.
So that's why I'm saying like I can proof out the number. Like it's a matter of 2020 only 2020 elevated these things into fruition because you couldn't stray away your attention. But because you couldn't stray away from your attention, you also noticed the fallacies within the presidency even more. Like a lot of these other areas because you just couldn't change your attention. But Aly, what about you? What do you feel about it?
I mean, I don't know. I've been kind of like thinking about like what my response would be, and like I just right now I kind of both agree and disagree. I totally, see how everyone only being able to focus on, certain things during lockdown can definitely attribute to it. But at the same time, like, there's so much fucked up shit that's happening in this country. And, like, everyone, I don't even want to use these words, but these are the best ones that I can come up with, is, like, everyone's radicalized at a different time. Or someone kind of, like, wakes up to the fucked up shit that's going on in our country at a different time. Like, maybe it was Eric Garner. Maybe it was, Sandy Hook. Maybe it was,
Philando Castile
Springs that happened right down the road, here in San Antonio. Like, there's a lot of different things that make people pay attention, and that's because it affects them in some way or it touches them in some way. And going back to the point, like, would Biden have been, elected, if COVID hadn't happened? I think I would hope that he would have been. I'm not the biggest fan of Biden. I'm not really a fan of Biden at all, but just the atrocities that Trump made, the statements that he made, the things that he did were awful. Like, the whole immigration ban in the Muslim countries, the whole fucking camps that were happening at our borders, like, those are totally inhumane things. And I'm not saying that Trump started a lot of those things, because, the Obama administration was the one who started the camps.
Right.
The border. Whoa, time out. We don't throw shade at Obeezy around these parts.
Built the cages, you fucker.
Obeezy. I'm kidding.
If you start that shit, then own up to it.
Hey, time out. No.
She said, don't start no shit if you won't be no shit. That's what she said.
Well, never mind.
Yeah, like I just can't think, like, I think that, the response that happened, around the whole George Floyd incident, I think coronavirus played a very small part to it, not necessarily a big part in it. I feel like it would have still had, like, the national anger and outrage that it did because, as Sam was saying, like, we saw a man die.
Joe Biden's inevitable.
Like,
right.
I mean, hey, and that's totally cool.
You look at your numbers, you fool. You trust math and science, you bastard, each. I'm just fucking with you. You and your algorithms and your stats and
bring
your
it
view
all
times
around
to Joe Biden, because we haven't talked about that motherfucker once.
Yeah, I know, because a lot of Joe Biden getting elected has to do with him not being the other guy.
Right.
That's literally what he ran on. Like, Joe Biden doesn't even get the Democratic nomination if he doesn't do the shady behind the scenes deal. Because remember, Bernie won the first two primaries. Then all the moderates dropped out, and Bernie.
Hey, that's called being a politician. That's strategic.
That's fine, but it's just Bernie was going to win until.
Yeah, and I would have loved it, but Bernie's not shady like a politician should be, and that's why he never won shit. I love Bernie to death.
He's too cool.
Right. I love Bernie to death, and he knows how to mobilize. He knew how to mobilize the youth a little bit, but not enough for.
He knew.
But he
actually has huge problems actually organizing a movement. That's
right. But the
If
thing
only he could have came in at 2024, right? when those millennials could vote.
but even the olds didn't like him.
Oh, not
because,
millennials, Gen X.
Yeah, but the olds
Gen Z.
didn't even like him because they were like, "Oh my god, he's saying spooky things like get rid of the police or whatever," right? Like, because
I don't
he was
think he said
not
that.
he was not good on messaging, is what I'm saying. Like, he had great ideas, but he was a terrible salesman at them, I think. And
But see, that's my whole thing, right? Because I guess that's why I don't like far anything, right? I lean blue and I don't like far left, right? Because I'm just like,
he's a Roosevelt Democrat, not too far.
well, just to start, because we keep talking not about Joe and about everything around Joe. Joe wins sometime in December. It becomes official.
Sometime in December, man, some fucking time.
So, you guys, what did y'all expect? What were y'all hoping that we would get? And then you can even go into his first day because he passed 22 executive actions his first
Right.
week there.
do you want my real answer?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't expecting jack shit besides better, leadership. And by better leadership, I mean less tweets. And that's what I've gotten, which has been nice. I also just wanted someone who's actually had political background. That's cool too. Not because I actually, the funny thing is I actually like, the only aspect of Trump that I liked was that I like business. I like a business background. I like other sorts of background mixed in with your politics because that means you have a lot more exposure. You have a lot more understanding from other
Joe does
areas.
real estate.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. But I mean, motherfucker didn't do what's most important to me yet, which is just legalize the green. So I hate him.
He's elderly.
I'm kidding. No, but seriously, I want, for me, my expectations were just that we were going to get a slight, if you did your research, you know how Joe was going to come in anyway, and he did exactly what I expected, which was, he reversed a few things. He kind of set the line a little bit. He was very fervent on how normally you're supposed to handle a vaccine protocol without fucking misinformation and spreading lies for an entire fucking year when people are dying. And just making sure that we had some guidelines that were set in stone to just made it feel like a normal presidency. But I wasn't expecting some grand revolutionary change. I wasn't expecting everything to just magically get better, like shit, go down the streets and be like, I can be black and yell at the police again. No, that's not how it works, right?
Wait, you were able to do that at any point?
No, but
I'm about to say that's not a new thing.
But I was I know some people are like, everything's just going to be different. No, it's not. That's not how it works.
Onto everything is going to be different.
Everything is great and perfect. No, I know you guys are wrong. My thing is, I know when it comes to politics that things take more time than people think, and so I thought everyone was going to be like, he's going to change everything immediately. And then I was correct, because the other part of what I thought was they're going to think he's going to change everything immediately. When he doesn't, they're going to yell at him and say how much of a fucking failure he is for not changing everything right away. Oh, how come the camps aren't closed? Oh, yeah, because he's got to find out, 1, where the fucking parents are, 2, where the kids are, and 3, how to get them together. And he's actually started things like to start a database to find these kids. But there was nothing for him to build off of. So he had to go and be like, all right, how do I deal with this border crisis? Fuck, there's literally no protocol. There's nothing. It's just them running rampant like a bunch of dickheads.
There was a protocol.
Well, he kind of instilled his own kind of crisis.
Yeah, but
Walls he put in.
But right, you're not wrong. He's not handling it perfectly. I never said he was going to handle the other stuff perfectly, nor did you accuse me that I said that. But yeah, no. But the idea was that he was going to have to go from the ground up on a lot of different fucking fronts and try to do the right thing, and there wasn't always going to be the immediate right answer that everybody wanted. Like the Keystone Pipeline, he reversed that eventually. He eventually got to that.
That was one of his first 22.
Yeah, but he eventually got to that pretty quickly. He got to a couple other things eventually, some like veteran stuff, and
I think that was just Congress. That was.
But the idea is that
that stuff always happens, and then I'm just gonna take a quick side note just to grab the mic for a second. Yeah, both sides take pride in veteran stuff, and it's like, you didn't really do that. Like, the presidents didn't do that. Like,
take care
that
of
passed
vets.
through Congress.
Right, and so
Marco is like, coming from a veteran.
right.
Sponsored by a veteran.
Right, and like, the whole check thing where he's like, I'm gonna give you it's a down payment. It's not 2,000. It's a down payment towards a 2,000. I'm like, all right, man, whatever. We got more monies. It's fine. He did the base. He went through the motions to start. And I think he's still building leverage. But then you got fucking Manchin. Is Manchin the senator?
Joe Manchin and Sinma.
So yeah,
the Thorns.
And they're fucking his shit up. Like they fucked with Obama
hit 60
shit.
with those 2 votes.
I know, but the thing is he's trying. He is trying, but he needs to not try anymore. He needs to get rid of the filibuster. And the thing is, if he just threw his weight around like Trump did, he'd be like, yeah, filibuster's gone. Suck my dick. Be out of here. And then the Cheney, she's on his side probably now because they ousted her, and you got to will it a little bit.
I didn't check if she got replaced yet.
But you got to will it a little bit. You got to just shove. If they're going to play bully ball, you got to not get knocked around. And he's getting knocked around a little bit, and it's like, oh, he's so elderly, he's so weak. But no, he's pretty sound on generally most policies. He's not like a terrorist, and he's not like a super liberal guy. I mean, you get what you pay for, and everyone knew what they were getting. And then now it is up to us to get the liberal people and the movers and shakers, the ones that are going to get us free college. He promised free college or 10 grand
he promised
off.
to remove college debt.
Yeah, and I'm still waiting on that motherfucker. And he's like, yeah, you get free city college. I'm like, bitch, I already graduated. That's great. I love free city college for the for the youths. But I need my money back, God damn it. And so there's going to be ways around it. But this is the stopgap, right? This is protect democracy. And then get your liberal people, the people that you really want in for him to dish the ball to, because he's not going to do it himself. It's too risky, and he's too chicken shit in certain ways.
The only thing that I'm going to say that you're not taking into account, and it's stupid, but it's just factual. Mm-hmm. American politics is a pendulum, so it's going this way, and then Joe's not going to take it left enough, and it's only going to go right next time. That's how we went from Obama to Trump.
Right, but that's because they're not stopping all this voter suppression shit. That's because they're not stopping a lot of the coronavirus stuff. They're not mandating shit like they need to.
We stopped it here in Texas.
Huh?
We stopped it here in Texas.
The what?
The voter suppression bills.
Oh, well, that's like Aly. She did that. That's all Aly and her people's.
It's not me. It's not me whatsoever. But I could really call another special session any moment now and bring that shit right back.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we just gotta like punch him down
Let's
some
give the
stairs.
spotlight to Aly about how she felt about Joe.
Yeah.
Or I guess you could.
I don't know. I'm like.
It's hard, right? Because it's just like.
That's right.
It's like, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but at the same time, like the way that our fucking country is set up, like it's fucking bogus. Like a lot of these things, and like yeah, Joe's done like a lot of cool things, like reverse a bunch of the crazy shit that like Trump put in place. But a lot of this shit shouldn't have been put in place to begin with. You know, like ban to Muslim countries. That's fucking xenophobic and racist as shit. Like, he wants to withdraw the troops from Afghanistan before, 9/11, which I think is, about damn time, because we've been over there for, what, 20 years now?
Yep.
18 at least. No, 20, 19.
Yeah, it was right after September 11. We wasted no time.
2002 is when they dropped the first bomb. It was 11.
Yeah, so, like, fucking bullshit like that. But at the same time, like, it's not enough. Like, the whole immigration, policy, it's like, cool, like, he's helping kids now, but their parents are still stuck over there. So he's creating this whole, parents are sending their children into the United States without anyone because that's the only option that they have. And it's creating this whole separate type of, like, family separation crisis. And, like, a lot of these parents are stuck in, like, Mexico or other countries like that. And then, it's like, cool, he rejoined, the Paris Climate Agreement, but at the same time, like, this whole infrastructure bill that he introduced that was, like, what, $1.9 trillion or something that's supposed to help with the economy and all of these things. When he was running, his platform was going to include, like, climate change and, creating jobs, green jobs and things like that. And now it seems like that's not on the infrastructure bill whatsoever. So it's like, I don't know, I feel like we move forward a little bit and then we take like 2 steps back. So
it's tough. Pause. It's tough because I think that, and I know that this is a weird situation, but okay, so you go from a Bush and Obama, right? Where it's very, as great as much shit as people want to give Bush, it was still a more neutral pendulum. going into Obama. No, I said not neutral, just more not this crazy. It wasn't far wildness.
It's kind of weird to look at politics today, and it's like Bill O'Reilly is not that crazy compared to Tucker Carlson and
Patriot Act's
Crowder.
fucked up.
But but the whole thing is, right, there's like what we needed coming off of Trump was a president who was like and even a president like presidency who I don't normally vibe with, like way more far left, way more on this range, to make it more balanced, right? To make those actions that most people would want, because like you're saying, you got to be a bully, you got to be really in there in order to not only reverse but really make it more balanced after all these last presidencies, is having that someone who's not afraid to just go nutso chutso with it, and then going back into that sort of neutral balance. So when you go from a really big swing until, I'm using your example because it's a really good visualization, where you can go from really big swing to a kind of mid-tier swing into the blue side, it makes it feel as though it's not as... It's cool because you're like, yeah, it's good. Things are changing. He's making the right moves, but is he doing everything that he could be doing? Has he really taken those steps forward, like we're hoping and wanting to be seeing change? And of course, you're getting like a more normal sort of president candidate after all that craziness. And it's tricky because I don't actually ever like those far swings to be the center norm, because then we'll never make any progress.
You got a new subscriber, tier 1.
Hey,
who is it?
Sorry, I have a question for TJ, if possible. Sorry, just want to jump in really fast.
Welcome. He's been here for a while, though.
So, I want to know what balance means to you, because, like, how do you balance abortion, for example?
Okay,
I can get this one.
Please take this one off my hands.
Abortion is legal up to the second trimester.
Or take it, or there's
No, this is how you make it equal. Abortion's legal up to whenever the fuck you want it.
Whoa,
that's not equal.
That's not equal.
Why?
I understand this should be its own subject, and we can go down a really big tangent, but
why?
It's just why? Because there's some people out there that believe that life begins at conception.
What does that have to do with the individual's right to choose?
Because you would be murdering someone
If
you believe that train of thought.
And then pause.
Why am I getting shut up half the time? Let me respond.
Dog, because you started off this podcast with like 3 monologues, homie. Chill.
Fucking hey.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna jump in because I'm the one who started this. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I just like balance. Like, it's. I know in a perfect world, yeah, there would be balance, but with things aren't black and white. So there are issues like abortion. There are, issues like sex education. There's, a bunch of issues that don't necessarily have a balance to them without it affecting. Because can you imagine anyone who's conservative, Republican, a God-fearing Christian person saying, okay, I'll go ahead and say that yes. I'll
but that's
abortion for the second trimester.
See, that's my whole thing, though. The sort of and that's why it goes back to my whole principle of this is a product of how our society operates, where there's no middle ground, there is no balance. And I said that at the start, like I want there to be some semblance of balance, and in an ideal sort of perspective, you'd want that to be achievable, right? But inherently, it's either all green to go or no go. And that middle ground has been lost, that gray area that I firmly believe, and I'm right there with you, where there is nuances, there's conversations, there's things and actions that need to have conversations, that because it has to be all the way here or all the way here, we're never going to be able to have that sort of communication to me.
Just to say one thing, then I'll pitch it back to Sam so he can say what he needs to say. Abortion is one of those weird things where you can see how drastic people's mindsets are. You have a state like Alabama that'll pass like the heartbeat bill. It's like after 6 weeks, don't even think about an abortion. I think Texas only has 2 abortion clinics, really.
3.
3?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you'll go to a place like Oregon, and it's like you get free ice cream with your abortion and stuff like that. Like, it's just like 2 completely different. Like, there's no middle ground kind of thing.
And it's no, pause. Actually, go ahead.
No. But it goes down to who you're playing the game with. One side would give concessions. They try to, but the other one wants to play ball all the time with their ball on their field with their uniforms. No, you shake your hand, man. But let me finish the point I was going to make when it comes to the abortion thing. What would be the defining reason why you would call it murder? Because of a religious belief, I'm assuming?
I don't actually. I'm as pro-choice as it could be. I'm just understanding
on their devil's advocate portion.
Yeah.
It would be the understanding that it was murder because the Lord and Savior. Generally, that's why they would call it. The Lord and Savior gave it life, therefore it is a life, therefore it is murder.
Okay, that's
Separation of church and state is a thing, and we've abandoned it because I'm Catholic-ish. Why the fuck should some book?
Because the Constitution still guarantees the right to life.
Right.
It's the first.
It's
Right.
and I'm not. God damn. I don't want to. I don't want to even go down this route.
Right, but
because it's complicated.
So then the medical, but it would have to be the medical definition of what life is, and that's where you can. Well, it's going to be influenced either way.
I was about to say there are medical people that say it
Right.
begins at conception.
Right. So then you got to hammer that shit out, and I think that a proper and just hammering that shit out is it's out when it's like out. Baby is when out, and when or like if you're doing it just to for funsies, then okay, then that's like a moral thing on someone's behalf. But it needs to be available at all times, everywhere, and get a pint of ice cream because it's probably not a good time, and that's it. Period. I don't care if you think it's murder because if it's a religious thing, then it's separate. If it's a moral, conscious thing of like science and our culture, because culture is a vague gray area, then we got to figure it out there on those definitions. That's it. And I think that's where all of the arguments go back and forth, which is there's church, state, and then what we deem as a society.
Okay.
And so that gray area society is where you find those middle grounds.
So, coming from a more of like my perspective, where I mean, I'm probably the most religious one out of anybody on this podcast.
Right.
Where I've never taken that book into consideration.
Do you go to church?
I do.
Oh, I don't go to church. Oh, I'm like a shitty Catholic. I just didn't know that. I just didn't know that about you, man. I didn't know you had a brother, and I didn't know you go to church.
I do. I'm not gonna say I'm like the best at it, but I have rarely ever missed a month. So
Okay.
But my whole thing is, but like that, I'm in the camp who doesn't shove it in everybody's face. It's not my personality. It doesn't really make up anything to do with me, except
Right,
for,
you're a terrible
except gives me some moral compasses thanks to some upbringing, right?
Right.
But my religion has never ever played my role in my decision making towards that. Not to act like it doesn't in a lot of camps.
Yeah.
But my whole notion and kind of the thought process towards that is like what you're saying, it has to be a conversation, right? But the whole thing is, when you said people are willing to make concessions from one side, no, that's not true, because you also have it's dominated by these radical, it has to be this or it has to be that. And that's all you hear. That's what clouds the conversation. There's rational people like everybody else here who will have that sort of dialogue, but that's not the norm. And it doesn't matter what side you're on, because you might have some floaters on the Republican side who are very much like, yo, sure, you know what, there's probably a conversation to be had. Maybe they're closer to the neutral than it needs to be. But all you ever hear is cray Christians who are like, hell no, ain't gonna go. And then the other side that's pro-choice, we ain't backing down from that, right? And so it's a tough place to be in.
But then when Joe tries to be in the middle, where he's like, hey, I'm gonna make some concessions, like I'm gonna get rid of the Green Deal shit from my bill because I know Republicans ain't gonna go for it, and then they just like, we're not gonna go for it anyway, you fucking idiot. Bye. What do you do? What do you do when they don't want to help? And it's been proven. McConnell said it out loud. Mm-hmm. What do you do when you're in his position? He's trying to make the show of it. He knows he ain't gonna get no fucking support from me. He knows it. He's not stupid. He's old, but he's not stupid. So then you make the show saying, hey, they're not gonna do it. Now he's at the point very close to it where he's like, all right, motherfuckers, I'm taking my ball and we're playing by my rules. But I don't. There's a lot of reasons why the Democrats don't want to do that.
There's an election next year for one.
Right, and so. My thing, but the thing is, if it was a Republican, they wouldn't care. They dig into it, and their fucking people would love it, and that's why they are able to do the things they do, because they don't care. They don't fucking care. They want it their way, and they're gonna get it their way. And fuck you, you liberal cucks. And it's like,
and see, that mentality is you get what I'm saying?
I get it, but that's them.
That's the whole thing.
That's them.
It's not them. It is them. I'm not saying that it's not the very heavy Republican side of things. right? But that also creates and has caused the sort of radical bounds on this side to be as. So what I'm saying is that that whole thought process, going back to your original point, Aly, of like, where's that balance lie? Now, I can articulate it 15 different ways to Sunday, right? But we don't have a society where that can be a natural sort of inclination because we can't even have a fucking neutral ground on a lot of areas. And no matter how which way you frame it, Sam, you are very far onto the like more, hey, fuck it. If it's mine, it's this, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So what I'm saying, and that's very true. So what I'm saying is when you're coming from that side, and you're hearing the other side, it gets you ticked, it gets you livid, it makes you be like turned off to anything they have to say. And that's fine because it's been created and conditioned by that other side's environment, but it has to be acknowledged in order for us to actually meet that sort of balance that I'm hoping for.
Right, but the thing is that I can switch it off when they switch it off, and they won't, because here's the thing, when they make a decision like that, coronavirus gets variants and kills my fucking nephews and nieces because they don't want to believe the real things, science and facts and
I will
and
say,
shit like that. But just let me finish the half
Okay.
point. So at least when I'm angry about shit, it's about real shit.
No, I
Right? Or no, but right. You and I know you're not upset about that. You're not criticizing me for that because I know that what I'm saying is it's fucking extreme to some, but at other ends it's like it's my existence of comfortability and the people I care about, the people I love, the people I can vote for on my behalf of my community, my media. I can't vote for everybody. I can't save the kids in Yemen. I talked about that. I can't save them. I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know the situation. Can't save those motherfuckers. I love them. I pray for them. Can't do nothing about it. But I can take care of the people around me, and they don't care about any of the motherfuckers. So how do you play a game with them when they want to play them, take all the marbles, and they won't listen to science?
I just want to say on that note that Governor DeSantis, who's one of the most Republican crazy people, has said it's time to start blaming the unvaccinated. The governor of Georgia has already said it's time to start some sort of vaccine mandate. So when it comes to at least that argument that you're making,
Minnesota's giving money. They said $100 for everybody who's coming through.
It's too late, baby. Now it's too late. They killed enough people. And now they know, oh, shit.
they killed enough of their voters. It's probably a good thing.
Right, but that's not a moral thing.
we're
That's
only
I want them to
stronger.
vote. No, but
Only
that's
getting
how fucked
stronger.
is that, though? How fucked is that? We're laughing about it because, fucking Republicans are dying. But the coronavirus variant is killing people that didn't need to die.
Oh, no.
Because they didn't want to play by the rules, and now because it's hurting their chances to get elected for power, they want to have a heart and soul. Fuck them and their mama. And I can't joke about that.
I'm not.
We're having fun. I get that.
I just
'cause
want to
fuck 'em.
say on
But-
that note that I can't. I have to joke about it.
I know,
I can't feel bad about it because I just saw an interview last week where somebody was on a ventilator.
Saw that guy.
Was there and was like, "Hey, so are you getting the vaccine now?" And he was like, "No, I'm not." And I'm like, "All right, then I am not gonna feel bad about you going through it again."
But the thing about this is that they're fresh, warm bodies for it to fuck up real good people that don't deserve it.
No. And I don't like.
And I love fucking them motherfuckers, ignorant motherfuckers dying.
Dude, I don't
love
think
it.
you. What I don't understand.
I'm kidding. That's
Whenever
cruel.
you go on about coronavirus, and I'm like, dog, I get why crunk you are because you're always like it's going to affect your family, your parents, siblings, and I feel that because my mother is in a hospital. My entire mother's side of the family, all of her siblings are in the medical field, and so every day I have the realization that their life is in the hands of ignorant individuals. I get that. I understand, and I don't give any passes towards the Republican Party for the fucked up shit and the articulation and the misinformation that spread last year. It wasn't just the Republican Party, it was just uneducated people, but primarily a certain side had that toward a tendency. That said, all of those things aside, I'm not gonna fault or downplay when states are actually doing an effort towards vaccination. Yes. Too late? Is it too late? It's never too late. I mean, we ain't all die yet. But does it seem like no shit, Sherlock, you should have figured this out earlier? Yes, fuck yeah. But it's still a positive movement towards what we need to get done.
Right, I guess.
And you can't take that away.
By any means necessary, as Kanye would say, right?
Because the thing is, would you rather them keep quiet? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
Right. But the thing is to say that they're equal and saying that, now they're on the good side. No,
I never said.
Right.
No, I never said that.
But if that's the concession, right? That it's still good. I'll agree with that. But there's still evil people, and there's still the people that still want the ball, still want the power, and they're willing to be bold-faced liars and then be bold-faced supporters of
everyone
truth.
wants power. That's the only thing that I'm going to say.
But if Joe Biden was the type of motherfucker that wanted the absolute power, he'd have it by now, and he hasn't decided. Because he wants to be what?
Said everybody wants power. I was just pointing out.
Oh, yeah. That's what politicians are. I know what politicians are. They're all fucking crooks. They're all crooks.
But
all of them.
I mean, it's all.
Bernie's a crook.
It's all
AOC.
It's all
crook.
foundationally goes back to. And funnily enough, this actually connects all back to Biden because, as you can tell, motherfucker's so just not irrelevant, but so like a ghost in the background that it's hard to bring him into some of these conversations because I'm like. Actually, what have you done? I'm like, what have you been doing?
No, he's doing the boring paperwork bullshit that nobody cares about, which they shouldn't because it's government. It's boring.
It's government stuff. He's chilling.
I'll talk about quiet. Pokemon and fucking Pogs, but now I can.
I'll talk a little bit about what Joe's done because he surprised me a little bit because I'm probably in Aly's camp a little bit more politically. I think I told you when the primaries were going on, I'm like literally anyone but Joe and Kamala and we'll be fine. And when Kamala got eliminated with 0% of the vote.
Yeah, I was about to say. I
don't know how she got the VP. I will say that.
She is not in this conversation. You better stop. That's not even fair. This is about Joe.
Hey,
Joey.
Hey, people, don't come. You fucking. Sorry, I'm like, God damn it, Kamala. You just have to shut the fuck up. I'm not saying because you're a woman. I'm just saying because you have terrible policies.
But
You can't be a child of immigrants. Preaching to people that's
yeah, it don't make no fucking sense. But anyway, Joe, back to Joe Marcos. Back to you.
I was actually surprised that he spent his first day passing 22 executive orders, and 10 of them were about immigration. One of them was making DACA rule of the land.
Yeah.
Ended the border wall. What else did he do? Rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement and stop the pipeline. All that was like, oh, I didn't expect that from you. I'll be honest.
Right.
He hasn't done that much since. Like, it was pretty much all that. But that's just because he does keep playing by the rules. Like, I thought that so we did all this stuff to undo Trump's things, a lot of Trump's things.
Right.
Couldn't undo all of them like we would hope. But that his first thing was to focus on infrastructure. I thought that was really neat. I'm sad that we haven't got it.
It's easy, man. Infrastructure is super popular all the time, forever. It'll always be.
Trump couldn't pass it, and Joe Biden.
He's a dumb fucking idiot.
But it still doesn't matter. Like, infrastructure is just like, that's something so common that both sides are like, yeah, our dams and roads are not great.
Right, exactly.
What are you talking about? They're not great everywhere else but Texas.
Texas roads, I will say, Texas roads are fucking pretty good.
We always working on them.
Yeah. Like
tell me a time. Actually, you too, Aly. Tell me a time where you haven't seen construction in Texas. That's what I'm saying on these roads.
my entire life.
No, because look, you go through the 99 California. This shit's like, it's like a fucking Indiana Jones ride. This like over here, these roads are smooth. I'll fall asleep on the road driving back. Just like, all right, autopilot. There
Shoot, I'm telling you, man. From here to from all down Mopac. Mopac's a great highway. It's smooth as hell.
Right?
Been here for years. I'm like, I ain't never had a bump in my life. But no, on your point, yeah. I mean, just some of those smaller notes, right? Infrastructure. The way that he's been playing it, it kind of goes back to something you said, where I actually don't like the default being the strong arming. You're the president, but there's a reason why there's multiple layers of government. The more we get into that habit, there's 3 branches, I know, but
just telling the audience.
Yeah, good. I was like, but the more we get into the habit of doing the strong arm, the more it becomes the norm, and then it devalues those other areas, which I'm not a fan of.
Right.
So, him playing by the rules inherently, as much as I'm like, he's in the background, still doing it like you're supposed to.
Yeah. And the thing is that my problem is the little thorn in the side Republicans are still not playing by the rules, and they're trying to change the rules so that when they get it back, because like you said, pendulum. I fully expect a pendulum, but like, who's the Mormon guy?
Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney's starting to look like a fucking normal human being. He's terrible. I hate his politics, but he's starting to look like a normal human being, and they shunned him entirely. And it's like, really? You guys could have dominated everything with a guy like him. But no, they decided to be fucking crazy, and they decided to triple down. And We'll see what happens, and I'm terrified that they're gonna somehow cheat their way. I don't think they don't have the popular vote. They don't got shit.
You don't need a popular vote in the Senate.
Exactly, but it's just they got their gerrymandered. They got their fucking 30 squiggled fucking districts, and that's how they're gonna play the game. And you can only vote between the hours of 2:30 and 4:30.
Doesn't involve Senate
Either way, but even locally, but you get the gist of it. But the idea is, if you can only vote between 2 to 4 on a full moon on a Sunday.
You can't vote on Sundays.
Motherfucker! They're winning! They did it again! But you see what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I understand what you're saying.
So-
and then, I mean, I'm lucky that I'm off on Tuesdays. So,
But we would take the time off, or we'd find a way to do it. I don't got you got kid, but I don't got fucking kids. I don't got a job that's 30 miles away. I don't got the problems that other people got. Mm-hmm. And so I can't look at myself and be like, I'm fine. I got mine. That's never the type of person I've been. So how do I get the people that need to get theirs?
Because there's a lot of left-wing people that are like, oh, yeah, Columbus Day acts that, and then Election Day is a national holiday. Do you think people would actually use that?
I don't give a shit.
Aly, what do you think?
Give them. I'm sure.
She's like,
For the audio listeners, that was an audible eye roll.
very like it was like almost as if her pupils were hitting the back of her sockets.
It was very violent.
She straight up said, "Absolutely fucking not."
People will not. Just how people that use Labor Day as a break of labor.
Hey, sometimes you got to get a sweet mattress. All right. It's fucking time to get yourself a sweet mattress at a low price.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's only like 3% of people who vote in municipal elections.
But we don't have many municipal elections off. I forget half the time.
I actually think that, it's less so than a holiday being needed to be made. I just think that voting either needs to be more normalized, or the barrier of entry just needs to be better understood. Because I do think that even when I was growing up here, hearing it down your throat, understanding, I've been in America since day one, born and raised here, understanding all those things, and I still got to college and was like, I don't give a fuck yet. Until you start to understand how it works, how easy it is, and how it continues to be easier, how many locations there are, all those sorts of things. I think there just needs to be more active education and making voting actually seem interesting, and that your opinion matters, because it's real hard to make the effort of going. And yeah, you can vote for you can all be like, oh, it's for the better good. Hey, man, people ain't gonna fall for that shit. You got to make sure that it's realistically setting up expectations and making them understand how their outcome has played, how their outcome plays out.
Charlie, I know we haven't got to you a lot just because the conversation's been. But if you want to ask a final question before you go to bed, looks like you're about to knock out, just type it and I'll be sure to ask it, even if I got to interrupt someone.
No, I was just gonna say that. Fuck, what was I gonna say? It was about election day. That voting should be available online. I could review my driver's license online. I can order a passport online.
Should be an app on your phone.
I will only say that I do not trust the governmental systems of how they'd implement a voting online system without lots of testing, because like you were saying earlier, these kids are getting smarter. If you know how to program or code, really hacking some shit ain't that hard. Now, granted, is it illegal? Yes. But you think that the voting system would not be hacked? Ooh.
I think it would. I think you give people the day off. I think they would. I think it's now the cool thing to do. I think you make it a social media event and be like, I got my sticker. Happy holidays, bitches.
You can't even get water now.
You're right. You can't get. Yeah, that's the thing, right? No, that's the rules I'm talking about. Yeah. But I think in this little performative age, I think that's going to be a big part of it. Where if you make no excuse about it, you got to do you got to do it. You got to go vote. And then they poke you and they peer pressure you, and then you go vote, and that's fine. I don't care by any means necessary. To give them the day off, give them free fucking pizza. Give them free Dunkin' Donuts. Have a rave afterwards. I don't care. Be like, you need your fucking I voted sticker to get into this fucking rave. Free drinks all night. What's up?
Tarlin is throwing the gauntlet down at you.
Okay.
Name a good Republican.
Name a good Republican. Romney. I think he has enough of a moral compass at the very least now. He's shown that he's at a moral compass. I don't like his politics. But he's got enough moral compass to be like, guys, this is fucking crazy. And then they're like, boo, you fucking idiot, get out of here. But he's like, guys, it's crazy. And so Liz Cheney, she's a little bit bitter. I hate the Cheneys. They're fucking monsters. But
Is Dick still alive?
no, he's dead. but like, she's like, guys, you guys are fucking crazy. And they're like, get out of here. And she's like, all right, I'm gonna help figure out who these fucking insurrectionists are. That's cool. I didn't like John McCain all that much. His policies were hurtful, but eventually he grew a spine because he was about to die. That's fine. It's a bedside conversion. It's cool.
And John McCain did die. Didn't he die?
Yeah, John McCain has died.
That's what I'm saying. But he voted negative right before he died. And then they shit on his grave. He's like, yeah, fuck John McCain's dead ass. And it's like,
I legit think that Trump lost Arizona because he shit on John McCain.
right. And good on him, right? But like, he's a fucking war hero. You're not supposed to make fun of war heroes. That's the easiest person to support. You'd be like, fuck that guy. Thank you for your service, right? I say it to you all the time. I'm like, fuck you. Thank you for your service.
I think that
That's how we keep our friendship.
I think that with the just going back to the day off sort of initiative, dog. I mean, I'm not even kidding here. Just, I know Austin did a really good effort this last time, and I think that more organizations should, where like having your voting sticker hooks you up with a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But also, man, fuck it. Look, you want to get full voter turnout? Say that everybody who votes gets to go to like the crunkest party ever, alcohol sponsored.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I'm talking.
Make it
I'm talking
stupid.
strippers, male and female, just in that hoe. Like, everything. Stack it.
Make voter day Friday, not fuck Tuesday. Tuesday sucks. Friday, let them vote. Let them get blackout drunk afterwards at the fucking US of A All-American Smash with J Balvin, fucking Billie Eilish, Scarlett Johansson's there for some reason. Joe Rogan could be there. Fuck it. He's going to call it. I don't care. Do it that way, right? Bad Bunny. Put Bad Bunny in there.
Voting, though.
I was about to say, like, I hate voting the day of voting.
Well, then make it a pre-ballot. Get your pre-ballots.
Nah, but like,
super
see,
accessible.
But see, like, no, you can have all the, but like, put it on like a day, like, right? So like, everybody who early votes, you still get access, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like a lead up, but then you get out and you're like, yeah, vote, yeah, you get, votes
Early
down,
bird
pants
specials.
down, yeah, like,
early bird special. If you vote early, you get to get in early and get $5
you get
off your
VIP
drinks.
passes. Actually, yeah, the earlier you vote, the more VIP status you get. I'm just saying, I get it. Like, people are like, shouldn't it just be in your mall companies? Now, fuck that shit. Give me a reason. Just like how Minnesota is giving people $100 if they go get a vaccine.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you can't do it with voting. But
You can't do that with voting. But I'm saying,
vote Cella. Put it in the middle of the wilderness. Put it one in each state, and you get a fucking
one
free.
in each state, driving all the way from El Paso to
Whatever. Well,
but you see, I'm just saying that I know that there shouldn't be an incentive to try and, make your vote for the better good. But unfortunately, and this is just how it is, you've heard me talk about it, America's the most selfish, egotistical country, one of them out there. So there's no reversing that. And so if you want to be vain, we're going to play the vain ball game and make it about, hey, well, go be cool and go get part of something that's more like, that's a lot more fun, and making it more. And like, if other things get updated to match times, then even our own and how we engage with some of these political systems needs to be upgraded too.
Yeah. Vote
And
Cella.
so I'm slightly joking, but honestly, just incentivization. And while you can't pay people, right? And I don't think. And the first thing I thought with the Minnesota thing was like, yeah, I don't believe that people should have to be paid to go get something that's going to help everybody, but there are a lot of people who would definitely go get that vaccine for $100.
right. If you sell yourself for $100, cool. I don't care.
Because you're helping, like, and I'm like, shit, why the fuck am I going to give a shit if you get some money for helping me out? Like, I'm
Right.
good.
Right.
Right.
I didn't get my $100. Who cares? You don't get to die earlier. So that being said, Mexcellence Vote Fest 2022 is happening November.
We need to look it up. We're not going to guess the date.
We're gonna do it though. We're gonna throw. If Corona is dead, we're gonna throw a big ass party, and the only price of admission is fucking your I voted sticker, and we're gonna play the hottest tunes and give you the best drinks and have the most beautiful women there. I don't know how I'll find them. They're gonna be there though. I got a year.
Okay.
I got a year. Aly's invited. See, there you go. Good start. There you go. See, what friends do we have that are that we can compliment right now? I'm just saying.
Stop it. Before, we will have the beers. That's my. I'm
Scarlett
kidding.
Johansson's gonna be there.
No.
She's not doing
No,
anything.
she's not. No, she'll be in Disney.
She's kicked out of Marvel. She's kicked out of Marvel. The next stop, Mexcellence.
But to bring it back,
2022
to bring it back,
she'll-
Marco, what's up?
I was about to say, we didn't get Edward Norton.
We can.
What's the main
Terrence Howard?
Terrence Howard. We didn't get Terrence Howard
Yet we're gonna get all the variants in the Marvel universe. That'll be the voting.
But I'm gonna pass it to Aly. We're about to end the podcast, but I mean, this is still probably gonna go for another 10, 15 minutes. Aly, so what would you like to see from Joe before his term comes to an end? I also like on this note that everyone is just. He's not running again in 2024. Like, it's just a foregone conclusion.
I think he is, if he's alive, and if he feels good.
And actually, Aly, I kind of want to challenge you a little bit too. Similarly to kind of how I've been framing everything, what you want to see, but also what you realistically think will be achieved.
Like with Joe's presidency.
Mm-hmm. What you're how you would want it to end off, and then where you think it would.
I mean, it's hard because specifically with you, because you and I have two very different, like, I feel like the end point is the same, but the way that we look at things, like, on the journey is, like, very different. Like, you say you want to get to a point where we're in the middle of things, or, you know, like a neutral point, you know, a centrist type point. And I want to argue that we're there already, that this is neutral, this is central. You know, all of the major issues that could possibly be major issues between the two-party system that we have are in the Supreme Court right now. Abortion, education, healthcare, economy, all that shit is on there. And it's not working. The two-party system just is not working. What I want from Joe Biden, I'm going to be honest and say that he's not my big fish right now. Just don't fuck it up even more than it already is. I'm kind of focused on the governor of Texas right now, just because that's kind of like what's most of
To be fair, I mean, that's a different supervillain fight. Aly's like, I can't juggle two. He's like, I can only fight one force.
That's a Legend of Zelda boss battle right there.
And you won't get any sort of ifs, ands, or buts coming from me. Don't worry, I'm not challenging.
I can't fight Gandalf and Bowser.
Exactly. Like you get in the vicinity.
That, like, Biden was doing, because I'm like, I don't fucking know what Biden's up to. I'm fucking dealing with Greg Abbott and his stupid ass every other fucking day. Like, I guess no news from Biden is good news.
Right. Like, she gets close to Abbott, just the fucking Bowser music from the game plays when she's in his vicinity.
She fucks up every wheelchair she sees. she's like, is that an empty wheelchair?
Just in case he needs a backup. Fuck that guy.
Okay, I'm just like, how have we not rolled him off of a hill yet?
Look at that's the part.
There's no hills in Austin to roll him off of.
Yeah, Texas is too flat.
No,
he just goes straight.
That's the part. Now this is the part where we're gonna not be ableist, Sam. But I didn't realize he was in a wheelchair until like a year ago. Like, the way they crop him, you just don't know.
Yeah.
And so he's out there on the border, like, we're gonna fight for the border in his wheelchair. It's like, motherfucker, you can't even get there the way you got it, brother. Like, shut the fuck up. Get out of here.
Is he actually paraplegic?
Yes.
Yeah. I actually, on that note, I didn't hear his voice till like last year either.
Right.
I'm gonna be real, like, because of how much dominating presence Trump had, it's like Abbott didn't exist for a little bit. And then you realize, you're like, oh, fuck, I thought I fought the boss already. There's a secret one.
Right.
He hasn't had a real challenger ever. And then I've been focused on the Senate races, trying to get Ted Cruz out and then Cohen out. And then,
You fools.
But no, continue on, Aly.
But at the end of the day, like, I don't want, like, these half-ass fucking things. Like, okay, cool, like, we acknowledge climate change now, but what are we going to do as a country about it, and why isn't it, like, included in any of our infrastructure bills? Awesome, we're doing things about immigration, but instead of just helping children out, why don't we help out entire families? You know, affordable health care, that one I know for sure we're gridlocked in, just because there's a lot of moving components that I am not even going to try to pretend that I understand, but I know that one's a little bit more complicated. But I mean, why the fuck can't we have universal health care for all when, like, every other country has it? Like, it's fucking stupid that we still don't.
Yeah.
I was just reading a comment that was saying that if Joe doesn't do a lot of great things, basically Kamala is, like, just not even going to win in 2024.
That's the thing. Kamala's fine, whatever. Like, I'm more neutral on her than Joe, surprisingly. But a lot of people don't like her. A lot of people don't. I just like Kamala. Just stop it. That's how I feel about Kamala half the time. Like she's cool for like she's a good public figure. She has good public speaking. Other than hey, don't come here. That was not. I get what she was going for. Not advised at all. But her history, man, they'll fucking pull up her history like a motherfucking. People could change. I do believe that. But fuck, dude. She's not very popular with the people that are in my circle, the people that want the progress and the centers and stuff. She's not popular at all. But the other good thing is that older liberals fucking love her. Like, so they vote more than we do generally. So she still has a chance. But am I on Biden real quick?
Yeah, you're on Biden.
Don't fuck it up. Like I said, be a little more aggressive with the ball. Get some fast breaks going. That's all I'm saying. He's playing fundamental basketball. He's dribbling. He's passing nicely.
He's the Spurs. You want the Lakers.
Yeah, no, they don't rebound. I want someone to fucking rebound too. I want like
He's gonna get lost in the analogy now.
yeah. See, I want like 1980. No, but I just want him to just push the ball a little bit, play a little more aggressively, call people on their shit, which he does often. He just does it because he has a stutter. It's not as strong as some people want him to be. It's not as clippy. But be cool with the country, other countries. Be diplomatic. Keep doing those types of things. Tell Vladimir Putin to fuck off. That's cool. I like that he does that. Support the troops. And survive. And then, Kamala, I guess, make her look better if you can. No. He's got pretty good goodwill generally. But yeah.
She's got a lot of makeup room to do.
Yeah. But that's her work and her work
I guess, coming from, my arch nemesis, Aly over there, as y'all know.
Good night, Don.
Night, Don.
We love you.
Rest easy, brother.
I mean, obviously, we can never meet anything in the middle, and no, I'm kidding. I totally understand where you're coming from too, and like you were saying, end goal is still the same. I don't believe we're in a middle ground, but I think we're getting a little bit closer with the way that Joe Biden's handling it, and I don't even disagree with you that I do actually want to see those more radical pushes for adjustments and changes, right? But I think that it all has to start out from the baseline of starting from a neutral point, so they don't seem so radical, right? So they don't seem like you're going from 0 to 100 instead of starting from 50 and going to 100, like our expectation should be, right? Incremental adjustments. And yes, we want them to be quick, but that's just not how it works, and it's never going to work that way. And it can because the whole positive narrative around this and why I actually have a lot more solidification of how we can proceed is because I know y'all guys throw a lot of things on the newer generation, the kids and things of that nature, but our generation right now is starting to be more in the realm of being able to run for presidency, to being able to run for these areas and parties, right? We're hitting that 35 to, because it has to be 35 for president, right? But you're hitting that 30 to 35 when you can start to be in office and hold these different things. And so those other areas of influence that we need will start to see change and impact and variables to make that those quote unquote radical adjustments be more feasible and be more achievable at a quicker time stamp because we're coming from a more of a level of understanding. Even if, no matter how you want to put it, I mean, we know people like who are in our similar age who are probably exact opposite to us, but like you also, I find it hard pressed that there's very few people that are like in this age range that I have to completely cut out because they're not like having a conversation right now. Not to say it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
but
I know a couple crazy people, but they're crazy people.
But like crazy people. So it becomes the exception, not the rule. And so I think that just by proxy, just by time frame, where you're thinking about all the people, and this goes back to another thing with presidency I already have too, where I'm like, I don't need to see another old person in there. I would love to see someone who is fresh, like literally in these sort of age groups, who understands a little bit more. Even with Bernie, I'm like, I love you, dog, but you can croak in office. I don't want that, right? And so for Biden in of itself, like everybody else says, don't really fuck it up. I don't want to see you on Twitter like that. I don't need to see you in the news and the headlines every day. I think he's kind of, I'm going to give him a little bit of, not slack, but a little bit of understanding because, I mean, like, we still have this monster of a beast called COVID, and it's really hard to reverse the damage of misinformation that's been out there. And like, you know, he's had to say it 15 different ways to Sunday of like, go get vaccinated, go get vaccinated, go get vaccinated.
I got Olivia Rodrigo, man. He's pulling out all the stops.
Like he's doing, like, so I'm saying like, he's got, like, so yes, it's the first couple months because you've got this bigger thing that is still for some reason controversial and just has as many sort of arguments, right? And so I'm like, I want to see, I want to see how it plays out a little bit more. We can see those steps being made. I'm hoping that maybe in that second, third year, whenever we've kind of gotten a little better of a grasp or not of what we've got going on, that we can progressively see those focal points actually be shifted onto areas that matter for everybody else, right? So those climate change jobs opening up, those areas opening up, right? So ultimately, just don't let Kamala Harris in the office and we're good. You don't understand, dog. She don't like black people. I don't know what she likes.
She wears Timbs like she does.
Yeah, the thing is, though, at least she won't say it like Trump would, or put out a 10-page paper saying that they need to go to jail.
The one thing that, and I know in the pantheon, people might get mad if I say this, but the one thing I always respect about Trump is that I knew who he hated. There was no hiding it. There were no ifs, ands, or buts about it. As a politician, he was brutally honest with it, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I fucking hate you. Because you're honest about who you hate. And that's fair. I don't need a closeted hater no more. I don't want that.
I just want to say, for Joe Biden to get a winning grade for me, I just need to forget that he exists. Continue doing things like this behind the scenes. Yeah. Right. But like, it's not up to Joe. It's up to us to be motivated, because Joe's not going to do anything great. He's not going. I think if he passes the infrastructure thing, it'll be great, but it won't be shiny. Like, it's not a Muslim ban or whatever it is that the other side thinks is shiny. So it's up to us to stop the pendulum going so hard the other way, because it can. Because, like, when we were talking about how they booed Mitt Romney is a moderate Republican. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see people like Joe Cotton, Major Taylor Greene,
Joe Rogan,
Gates. Joe Rogan is supposedly liberal as fuck.
I don't want him as anything. I feel like he's gonna run.
Don't make me.
He's not gonna run.
Meat.
He's literally said several times he's not about running. He's barely about running a business.
About what's his name, McConaughey.
McConaughey is the one that could beat Greg Abbott, and that'll be sad, because whenever they ask him a political question, he's like, and they runs out of the room.
And I have to love him because I'm like, long hard.
No, Aly said this on a previous show. She fucking hates, if I'm not mistaken, Aly, that you fucking hate the whole idea that celebrities are politicians, correct?
I fucking hate it.
Right.
It's the stupidest thing ever.
Right, but honestly, I would love to see Matthew McConaughey fumble, because I care for America. I don't care for Texas as much. So it's like if Matthew McConaughey fumbled the bag of Texas entirely, that'd be fucking insanity.
It's really hard. It'd be really hard to.
But
because what he's got coming before.
Right. But Greg Abbott is a literal monster. I'd rather have a guy who doesn't know what the literally like an airhead bimbo, himbo, if you will, that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, than Greg Abbott maliciously knowing what he's doing.
That was Trump, and look how awful that was.
But he wasn't malicious. Matthew McConaughey
Trump
was pretty malicious.
Yeah, Trump was pretty malicious.
And he was an airhead.
No, but no, he was a malicious airhead who had money to gain. Matthew McConaughey, I don't think gives a shit enough about money. I don't think gives a shit enough about anything. And I think that there's somebody around him that passes him his blunt that's like, bro, I think you should fix the energy system. He'd be like, all right.
See, my thing is that I just love.
But won't talk politics. That's fucking horrifying.
Okay. So
would you
my
prefer
only
Abbott?
thing, no one would. Stop it.
I'm just no, but we're talking about two devils here.
The devil, you know.
Aly, would you take McConaughey or Abbott
in a fist fight?
That's the whole point.
She just said she didn't vote last election.
I'm so tired of them. I'm so I hated that I had to choose between Biden. I hate that I had to fucking vote for the current mayor of San Antonio. I'm tired. I want a politician that I'm like, yes, I will gladly vote for you. And
Well-
like, I have not had that in the last couple of years whatsoever. It was just like, I guess I'll vote for this guy, and like that's not what politics is about, and like that's what could discourage people from voting in the first place, and like not to rain on y'all's parade even more or anything, but just working in politics communications, like a votapalooza isn't gonna work.
No.
It's a fever dream. It's nothing.
It is a
the
fever
one thing
dream.
that's gonna get people to vote is like people that they actually care about and like.
Like Matthew McConaughey. Okay. I love his movies,
See,
and I feel
'cause-
like I could have a beer with him. Which actually, in like the 2000s, was the reason why George Bush was more popular. Is that people thought they could have a beer with him over Kerry and Gore. So
Kerry's 04, Gore
right,
was,
but
yeah.
but
I
Gore
don't
and
I
then
don't I don't
Kerry.
disagree with you. I know that we're wrapping up, but
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you, Aly. I do like the whole. The funniest thing is I'll even take a note. I know Obama has a lot of flack both sides, but I was watching the episode of the Boondocks the other day, and they were just like, "We're black people just voting for Obama because he was black," and I'm like, man, at least we agree on something. At least, I mean, I actually like Obama in some a lot of scenarios, right? I do think he was a great pick, and even with the fallacies. But I guess I'm more in a camp where we've seen you say it yourself. You've seen the cycle of history. You've seen the cycle of politics and people being corrupt and inherently either having to vote for the meh person or an area where it's like, they might not have a proper understanding. So Trump is a really bad kind of starter point, but I am a fan of people from other backgrounds who have an understanding of politics. There's a difference. I still want some political experience. That's usually what the problem is. They don't have any political experience prior. But I want individuals who've worked in businesses or who have other life experience to have an influence in office, because that gives them an increased perspective versus the individual. Because usually those backgrounds that are associated with those individuals also are a lot more extensive versus individuals who come from money ending up in money X, Y, and Z, right? A lot of politicians straight up, it's a money game. And if we want to pull the bullshit aside, it doesn't matter who's in office. We should be hitting the people, the companies, the individuals who are bringing in money towards these different areas and making the change in those individual silos to bring out the most changes in our politics. Because when money talks, there ain't no shit about it, right? But in the world we live in, where the figureheads matter. I'm not saying I love Matthew McConaughey, but I'm not someone who's like having a celebrity or someone else in there wouldn't be bad, just because I like those different backgrounds.
He has experience driving Lincoln Continentals.
Yeah,
No.
like so when you're talking about, I understand people with business backgrounds. Yeah, I understand people like biologists, things like that, who like could contribute to, major like economists and things like that who could actually contribute. But Matthew McConaughey was an actor. What could he
You're devaluing an actor. An actor has the best, I'm not saying an actor automatically proves him out, but with an actor, I'm like, that experience is a little bit different because you know how to placate. Straight up, they probably have the best manipulation out of anybody. That's why Trump won.
Right, and TJ also saying that that movie actors are better than all of us. So
No,
I think that works best.
On people that I do believe that are better than us, I'd really like to see a couple more scientists, politicians.
Oh yeah, I want Neil deGrasse Tyson's bitch ass. No, he's mean, but but I want Bill Nye the Science Guy to run for fucking Congress.
I
Why
would
not?
I would
man.
like to see it, but man, let me just tell you, the more science that becomes that formulates into politics, you know what side is gonna get crunk. You know what side is gonna get crunk. And I'm like, hey man, I'm all about the science, I'm all about the numbers. But as the most religious person here, I know I'm gonna be like, hey man, back up, church. They got a scientist in there. They're gonna say one thing and then it's gonna be crazy. So it's just different sorts of parties that you're gonna be interacting with.
Right.
But give me a marine biologist. Give someone who wants to actually.
Get someone that cares about squids.
No, give someone who cares about the ocean.
Yeah,
There you go.
Everyone loves the ocean.
No one likes the ocean. The ocean's fucking scary, all right?
Oh, that's right. You're a weirdo who doesn't love the ocean.
I'm on the same boat.
Thank you. Ocean's fucking.
You guys are scared.
Why do we know more about space than we know about the shit down there?
Because things get crushed when we go too far down.
shit gets crushed when we go too far up.
No, once you get past the atmosphere, you're fine. It doesn't get better with the deeper you go. It just gets more dense.
Well, obviously, our minds are now on oceans and space, which means
Thalassophobia.
But yeah, guys, thank you for coming out. Looks like we had a big party. What's this?
Oh, big drop.
It's Rage Legs. Tiberius Monk.
Oh,
Drop
that's
some bits.
oh my God. Marcus Kilgore. There you go. There's his name. Hi, Marcus. How's it going, buddy? If you guys know and follow us on other platforms, remember who you are when you donate money and when you watch. So be sure to follow us on all platforms, including TikTok. We're fucking top stars there. We topped the charts, I think. We're now TikTok Viners.
Follow us on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. You'll probably find us the most on TikTok and Instagram at the moment, but I promise you, YouTube will also be getting kicked up. You can follow us on a lot of other social media platforms that are individualistic profiles. So if you don't like a certain host, don't worry. You don't have to like all of us. You can just, hit that at TJ Mana, and you'll get to see me. But if you're not looking for me, who can they find you, Marco?
Well, if they were looking for me, all they got to do is type JL Marcos into 62 and I'll pop up. Aly, I think it's time for you to shout out your side gig that you do whenever you're not here, which is, I guess, this is more your third gig coming out to do our podcast.
she's like, hey, I gotta have my toe in the swimming pool because just in case that swimming pool gets bigger, I have a nice platform.
Right? And she's only like 14 more episodes from a free shirt.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, we have your shirt in the backlog. We just gotta wait.
I want to be at that table next time.
Yay!
Done.
Tarlin, the next.
You can find me at Aly on basically anything, and then my second gig is spinning vinyl records, and you can find that at Strawberry Jams Vinyl.
Right, we need to add that to our Instagram. So anybody who's ever been on the show, is in our friends on Instagram. So I need to add that to hers. But you can find us all on our Instagram, the Mexcellence Official. If you go to who we're following, you'll find me, Marcos, Aly, everybody here, and all of our side gigs. We have other past guests on there. So if you watch our old shows, we have people there. We have other people that have supported us. We only follow people that have been on the Mexcellence or have supported the Mexcellence from the beginning. So you'll see a couple people or who we've collaborated directly with. So that includes Aly and her side project. So I'll be sure to add that right now. And follow me at the Mexcellence regular, the _Mexcellence. You find me on pretty much all forms of social media. It's either the official stuff or me, SG Mexcellence on Twitter if you want to watch me say stupid things. And I can't do anything naughty there because my sister's on there. So,
but we don't just talk about politics. Actually, this is one of our rarer shows. We have a litany of others that are definitely dope in their own silos. They're not as sophisticated because, we don't have the influence of Aly there. But we get to act like stupid. And one day she'll be kicking it with the compas and we'll get her genuine side.
Yeah, Aly is going to be like 4 tequila Tampicos deep.
That's what we'll have to wait on. Hey, the last one I was on, I was an empty stomach daiquiri in, and I got crunk with him.
You know what? We'll send it to you. We'll ship it to you. That way, as the Mexcellence, as a courtesy.
Yeah, we'll pay for all the Tampico unit.
All $7.
All $7, baby. I was actually saying $7. $7, you'll get like 18 cases.
Right? That's like an 18 gallons of Tampicos. Oh my God, it's so much.
I was about to say, actually, on that note, the way we had an event at Fourth Tap, Aly could probably help hook us up, do an event at a bar in San Antonio.
Motherfucker, you're not going to make me move all that shit. God damn it.
Yeah, she's excited for it. We got to do it now.
Coronavirus, go away.
Yeah, when it goes away.
Yeah, when it goes away.
Yeah, we almost exploded. We almost had a fucking super spreader event like right before it hit level 4. We're like, fuck.
But no, we are doing more. If you missed our video game tournament, got a lot of great turnout there. Yeah. A lot of love from that. And we do plan on doing more shows safely and responsibly. They'll probably have to be virtually for a little bit, but don't worry about that. Tequilas. But if you want to see all the drinking and the pinko, we got so much shit going on. Just support us on all those other platforms. Really, it does mean a lot. But Marco, take us out, sir.
All right. Hey, guys, come back. I'm going to shoot a dart right now and say Monday because the dude that's in charge of movie reviews is getting a tooth pulled out soon. So it's a little...
So no more movie bullshit. We'll talk about Black Widow eventually.
We're never going to talk about it. We're never talking about it. Tommy, it's not on the docket.
Tommy yelled at me because I made him go watch it, and he's like, I better not have done this shit for nothing. So you got to take it up with him.
Okay, I will. Because he wants to review Fear Street, so it's one or the other.
Okay, so then, Fear Streets are coming eventually.
I'm figuring out a format for the show, for the movies that...
Oh, I've already got it. We'll brainstorm after this. But yeah, guys, thanks for coming out. Have a good day.